Hey, it's Ross Payton with World Playing Public Radio, and we're here doing an RPPR Patreon game, Delta Green, Genius Loci. And with us tonight, we have 5 brave agents willing to do what it takes to stop, the forces of chaos and destruction and darkness from, destroying what's left of civilization, et cetera, et cetera. Stop the bad serial killer person thing. You are all let's see here, members of working group Erebus. You are all stationed in Denver, Colorado, and you have been given a new assignment to look into a killing in nearby Fraser, California, or not California, Colorado. This is all in Colorado. Well, that has a connection with the Genius Loci killing in Vermont from 1961 to 1985. But first off, we should introduce the agents of working group Erebus. So on the person, the icon on the left side of my screen is Adam. So go ahead and introduce your character.
Hey, I'm Adam. I will be playing Lewis Digby. He is a program manager from the CDC.
Okay. All right, CDC. All right, let me hear that. Cool. Next up we have Dan, who, not Daniel, Dan. I will try and be consistent with that because so Dan, who is your character?
Jarvis Dixon, FBI Criminal Investigation Division.
All right, very good. And then we have Daniel.
Hi, yeah, I'm playing Neil Leeson, and I'm a business executive.
All right, we'll just say for the purposes of this game that you're a consultant with the program. Then we have our next player, Josh.
Hi, I'm playing Mark Browning, an FBI cold case agent.
Okay. Cold case. All right, FBI as well. All right. And finally, we have Travis. And have you picked a character yet?
Yes, I am playing DeMarco Weedman, a physician from Rockford, Illinois.
And where is your character located? Just so I can look at them if I need to.
It's page 648 of the PDF.
648 of the PDF. All right. The one with 960 agents?
Yes, 961.
Okay. All right. That's the newer one. All right. So very good. So your handler, let's see here. Actually, wait, I have a random name generator set up. So I will use the random name generator because remembering all the characters' name is a woman named Angelina Norris. And she has given you all a new case to work because it is the first the system has flagged a murder in Fraser, Colorado. I keep saying California. That has a tie to a case in an old case, the Genius Loci killing, and the it's a very unmistakable symbol, which is the, let's see here, let me get the symbol. It is a drawn symbol. Let's see, I will get this, of a figure, a Greek nude figure, standing next to a column. The column has a snake on it, and this, I will put this in the game chat. Oops, let me which has been identified as the a Genius Loci, which is a spirit of place, a guardian spirit for a place. So a symbol similar to this, without the frame, of course, was the trademark of a killer in Vermont. And so this symbol was scanned in and placed in a database or a system that would automatically scan all cases entered into any federal law enforcement system. And, apparently someone in Fraser, Colorado was killed, and this symbol was a very, very similar symbol, was painted on the walls in blood of the victim of the walls of their house. And this, of course, drew the interest of the program, and you are all to figure out what the connection is. So your initial briefing explains that the victim is, let's see here, a Sam Lloyd. He apparently a victim of a home invasion because his screen door, glass door, and the sliding door in the back was just broken with a rock. And then someone came in and stabbed him multiple times. And then the photos of the crime scene, which you have, show the symbol, again, the figure and the column and the snake on the wall in blood, but it looks as though someone did this with a calligraphy pen. It's very intricate. There's almost no spatter. In fact, everyone who has investigation could roll investigation.
Is that actually a skill?
It should be.
Forensics, maybe?
Yeah, forensics. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Criminology or forensics. Sorry. What is the other game I've been doing that has investigation? Oh yeah, the Warhammer 40k RPG. It has an investigation skill. Wrath and Glory does, so that's that. I've been mixed up. Anyways,
I actually got it on criminology.
Okay,
I got it on forensics, 4 out of 30.
Okay,
I got 23 out of 50 on forensics also.
I got a 63 out of 70 on criminology.
Yeah, blood spatter is well, mostly actually not nearly as form of divination or analysis as people reveal, but you can figure out some basic things. Like, it does look like he was stabbed, he bled on the wall, but there's just a big gap all around this symbol. And then just the symbol painted in blood in the very fine stroke, like a very delicate like with a pin, like someone somehow put masking tape on the wall, killed him, took the masking tape off, took a pin out, and then painted it on the wall, which is what the police can only conclude is what happened, which is physically possible, you guess, but obviously you've never heard of such a thing. So the Norris basically says, we don't have the full records of the Genius Loci killing here. They're stored in an archive near Washington, D.C. What we do know is that the first victim, the summary of the case indicates that a murder in Vermont in 1979 had this symbol, was also a home invasion, also had the symbol on the wall. But an investigation revealed a pattern stretching back to 1961, and agents were unable to find the killer until 1985, but were apparently did not learn the killer's identity. They simply lured the person into a shed and then blew it up. And so the killer's body was destroyed, and of course the agents did not investigate afterwards, but the killing stopped. So they considered it the matter, dealt with, as they had other things to do. Such were that's how things were done back then. The whole matter was not detected. Well, the killing that set things off was committed in 1979, but the agents only picked up on it in 1984, then set the trap in 1985, killed the killer, didn't find out who it was, and considered the matter closed. Obviously, the full case records will reveal more information. The summary of the case indicated their theory, which apparently worked, was that the killer was protective of the area, considered it, and targeted victims who were cutting down trees, building houses, basically environmental terrorism is what they chalked it up to. But apparently there was some angle that interested the group back then. Apparently Vermont is an area of interest. They do note high incidence of UFO sightings for some reason, which I guess I don't even know what to say. But we have a killing here with FBI credentials. The victim was a real estate developer with businesses over in multiple states, so it would be fairly easy. And also, Fraser is a very small town with limited resources. The FBI could easily claim jurisdiction, and the locals would gladly give it to us or to you, FBI, agents. So yeah, find out. You may want to split up. Some of you go to the DC archives to dig through the records. Vermont's not far from there. You could maybe identify who the actual killer was. Obviously, whoever was killed, if there were somebody, they would have been listed as a missing person in 1985 in the area. So maybe you can backtrack from there. This is, again, a test of a sort of automated system to see if this is going to be worth our while. So, but the fact that the same symbol was painted in blood in the exact same way decades later in a different state is troubling. You will be given a budget for travel and basic office expenses and other things. But if you want something unusual, you'll need to clear it with me. Any questions?
Is there any possibility this was a copycat of some kind?
This this case was not made known to the public. This was handled the old way, which is to say, I don't know how familiar you are with the so-called cowboy years, but we at a certain time did not bother with arresting people or making cases. It was just a matter of eliminating threats, eliminating vectors. So the Genius Loci killing is only known to us. It's not listed in any book about serial killers or killers. Like, the summary here doesn't even indicate how many victims there were. They just said it was from 1961 to 1985. So yeah, no one. It couldn't be a copycat killer unless they had access to our archives and knowledge, which is, I guess, you can't rule that out. But yeah, if you find evidence to suggest that it's somebody with access to our archives, that is a high priority. But I don't see how they would know this anyways. The local police never identified the symbol or paid it much attention back in Vermont.
Well,
Is there a green box on this?
There are green boxes available, but they're not per case. There's an archive with the case files, whatever they decided to save near Washington, D.C. If you want to travel there, I can provide travel expenses and information on how to get there.
I'd say that sounds valuable, going to the case file and seeing what happened back then.
Yeah. Yeah, you can determine yourselves who goes and does what. There's undoubtedly other victims. There have been a number of unusual deaths and disappearances for a small town in the area, but I don't know which is connected to the case and which isn't. So that's up to you to decide. So you have all the best tools that law enforcement can provide.
Okay, so the most recent case is here in Colorado, right?
Yes. Yeah, it happened it happened 6 weeks ago.
I mean, I think going over that again would probably be prudent before we start traveling places.
I mean,
At least some of us.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yes, Agent Dixon. You could easily. I would recommend going there and trying to first talking to the local police department to take over the case. I'm sure they'd be happy to give it to you because that's one less thing that they have to deal with. they certainly have no clues. Yeah. Anyone else?
I'm pretty good at sifting through docs. I think I'd be happy to go to DC, check out the files.
Okay. All right. So
I can talk to the locals.
let's see here. So let's see. It sounds like Louis Bigby is volunteering for DC.
I'd like to see the body if possible myself.
Okay, you want to go to the town?
Yeah.
Dixon wants to go to the town. Who?
Neil also wants to go to DC.
Okay. All right, and I guess the other cold FBI agent, Mr. Agent Browning. What do you want to do?
I will go with the town option.
All right, 3 to the town, 2 the archives. Very good. So the 2 archivists, book a flight.
Yep.
And they'll be there later that day because Denver Airport has flights straight to DC. So let's see here. Fraser's not a very super long drive. Don't Google Maps me. I don't want to bother look it up. So Agent Dixon, Mr. Wheaton, what was your profession again? Travis.
Physician.
That's right. All right. So, and then Agent Browning. So, the Fraser Police Department, you can call them easily to arrange a meeting about the case.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to take the lead to persuade the police chief to take this case off of them? From experience that the police chief would probably was obliged to let you, but will want to know why the FBI is interested in this case.
And there's no reason we can't tell them it's similar to a cold case, right?
Actually, that is because that cold case was a Delta Green case. It's not like a murder investigation. Like it was a secret black ops of illegally murdering somebody and not telling anybody about it. Except
I didn't say we had to tell them what cold case or in what way similar.
I mean, you
just pull rank.
Pulling rank might be a little harder. Certainly, you could intimate it's another cold case, an unrelated one. You could. You could just use that, and you definitely don't want to mention the Vermont connection.
Oh yeah, no. Just it is a cold case, and
okay,
we cannot discuss it.
All right. So that'll be you. The 3 of you walk in. The police chief, the secretary takes you into the officer takes you to the office of the chief. Closes the door. Police chief, random name generator, Leonard Gilbert. Let's see here. Let me write that down in case that comes up again. So police chief Gilbert is like, well, we are facing a budget crisis here. A bond didn't exactly pay off, and we're kind of up to our eyes in debt. So, what's the FBI's interest in this?
It has elements similar to an older case.
All right, make your persuade roll. Standard.
Well, I think I typed that right.
Yep.
I am in the wrong channel.
Yeah, it only has permission. That one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Nope. Missed by 4.
Missed by 4. That's I need something a little more. People have been edgy. There have been a couple of disappearances around here lately. And
Did any of the same circumstances apply to those other disappearances?
Well, I mean, they're disappearances. We haven't found any bodies, but Bethany McDonald and one of her coworkers, Ray Barton, have disappeared. Nobody knows what's happened to them. Let's Let's see here. Those are those people. So I kind of need a little more because if you come in here and say it's connected to a cold case, I need to, reassure people that we aren't being stalked by, Hannibal or something.
Chief Gilbert, right? So let me tell you something. I've been working cold cases for something around 30 years now, and I have to let you understand that we can't reveal all the details here, but it is related to an FBI case. We've been tracking this person for a little while now, making sure that nothing pops up again. But it is of a need-to-know sort of understanding, and you, sir, do not need to know. It is an FBI case.
Okay. I understand that, but you need to give me something. What do I tell the people? That's not going to reassure anybody. Like, is it something unique to that guy? Let's see, what was the guy's victim was Sam Lloyd, right? Yeah, I think it was Sam Lloyd. The murder victim. I mean, if this is related, something about Sam Lloyd. Actions catching up to him, that's different than like there's a serial killer stalking the town, right? You can kind of tell me that, right? Like we always thought that Sam Lloyd was a little shady, like, and there's a couple people thought he had connections to the mob, laundering money and whatnot. So if this is about that, then like I guess
What we need to tell the people is what the people need to hear. But what we're here to do is catch a killer. What the people hear is a whole nother story.
Okay, so all of you can roll human.
Okay.
$48 out of 80.
Yep.
Okay. You realize what the chief is asking you is he wants you to basically help him spread rumors that the victim was killed because of mobs or because he was a criminal, and and so like everyone else is safe because nobody else here is a bad person and nobody else is going to get murdered. There's definitely not a serial killer stalking people. It's just because Sam Lloyd was bad and he deserved to die. So that's what the police chief is asking. And so you don't have to make any more persuade checks. You can just accept it. But like if you start telling people, yeah, there's probably a serial killer running around or something like that, or that other people are at risk, the police chief is going to get pissed, and will make things more difficult. So if you just nod and drink the shitty coffee, you can take the case. But knowing that, like, does that make sense?
Yep. I nod and drink the crappy coffee.
All right.
Herbal coffee is good coffee.
All right. So, Mr. Physician, you can give me, I guess, a forensics check if you have it, or a medicine check.
I have both.
Okay.
I got a /2. They're 60 or 50, so.
Okay. So victim was definitely stabbed multiple times. There are some defensive wounds on his arms, where he held them out to avoid getting stabbed before he got shanked in the stomach. You think the killer was shorter than he was? He's about 5'11". So fairly sharp and long knife, or something along those lines. Let's see here, possibly a machete that was maybe not a full machete, but something. You do find plant matter on it, so perhaps the killer had hacked at plants before using the blade to kill. You also find very small little something, traces of something along the around his lips, that the initial examiner missed. Under a microscope, they look like spores. You're not sure what they are. So you'd have to take that to a more specialized lab back to Denver. Do you have biology?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yeah,
Well-
you could analyze it in the lab in Denver, but you'd have to drive back for it.
The plant matter was on the wounds?
Yeah, like somebody like
Because we don't have the murder weapon, correct?
no, the murder weapon was not recovered. Basically the killer broke in the back door. You can give me the two agents can give me criminology checks looking at the case file of the current murder.
Yep, make that 53 out of 70.
All right.
Yep, made it by 20.
All right. So both of you, the victim lived in a suburban neighborhood that bordered the woods. And so his backyard faced sort of a woody area, so you speculate that the killer came in there, but there are other houses on the street, and nobody noticed or heard or saw anything, even though a glass door is broken. The victim put up some kind of fight, or at least didn't die immediately, so probably screamed or something. Judging from witness testimony, there one victim or one neighbor was watching a pay-per-view wrestling event and had the sound up. Another one was vacuuming. At least the ones, the two houses closest to him. So both were making a lot of noise and were otherwise distracted at the time.
What time of day did this happen?
In the evening, after dark. We'll say it's spring. Yeah. So the victim, the killer marched in, broke the glass door, used it to open it up. Marched in, was wearing boots that you do get muddy footprints or, boot prints. You haven't identified the exact type of boot yet. And the victim came down to hear what the noise was, saw the killer. Then some sort of confrontation happened, and he put up, he was very surprised. He held up his arms, but didn't otherwise put up much of a fight. He was an older man, 66, quite wealthy. Well, not super wealthy, but well-to-do. Lived alone. And got stabbed multiple times. And then the killer had time to apparently do calligraphy of the symbol on blood on the wall. So, which is the house has still been taped, cordoned off as a crime scene because, nobody wants to nobody knows what to do with it because it's a really fucked up kind of case. And yeah. So,
did they verify the blood on the wall was the victim's?
Yes.
Okay.
So the physician, I assume, is taking the spores back to Denver for analysis.
And the plant matter from the wound to see if they're separate. I had a question. How wide is the stab? So can I get an idea of the width of the blade?
Yeah. It would put it in line with like a not like a full-size machete, but something similar to that.
So like 2 or 3 inches wide?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
And the next question was the victim. You said older man, 66, lived alone of financial means. Is it known what his occupation was, since 66 is prior to retirement age for most people?
Oh no, he was still working as a real estate developer. He was engaged in building up a new condo / gated community in the area, which has been put on hold, obviously. Yeah.
What do we know about the other 2 people that disappeared? Who did they work for?
They were lawyers one was a lawyer, the woman was a lawyer, and then the man worked at the law firm as a paralegal. And they worked for Newton, Wilson, and Boone, a law firm in the area. You quickly identify that they, let's see, did I say? It's Newton, Wilson, and Boone. Sam Lloyd was a client.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Meanwhile, back in DC.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Back in DC, Team Archivist. You find the case files. They are in a commercial archival warehouse, anonymously paid for. Well, you don't know the details, but you have a room to read documents, and a clerk who doesn't ask questions and doesn't read the documents themselves. So let's see here. Both of you, Lewis and Neil. You could. What kind of roles do you want to make? You can make any number of skill checks, depending on what kind of information you want to figure out. Because there's a lot of information to get through.
Would law be relevant to sort of figure out heads or tails of it?
Law could help. Yeah, sure.
I'll roll law.
How about bureaucracy?
Bureaucracy would also help. Sure.
I made my law roll.
Somebody rolled. Adam, you rolled a D00. So, which means you only rolled
again.
It's a D1. It's already It's
Yeah.
1D100. Not... There we go.
There we go.
Looks like you both made it. So, the basic of the case. Reading this as a traditional, investigation and not, like a black op that in an assassination of someone, by explosives. So what happened was in 1979. Someone was killed in Vermont in a small township, Vermont, and their death. The symbol was shown in blood along the wall as this killing was. But then the cell started investigating, and this took years. It became a cold case, and then eventually got kicked out to the FBI because things were slower back then because not as much computerization. But when a FBI agent saw it in 1984, they identified it as the Genius Loci, a Roman symbol for a spirit of place, a guardian spirit of a place, household god. You pray to your Genius Loci to protect your home, your hearth, and your family. So they started looking in this area, and they found other multiple incidents, and so they realized that the killer, whoever it was, they don't explain how they identified all the victims. They say method X was used to determine killer's connection to it. Method X is never explained, but that seemed to be enough for them. They do believe that the killer was motivated for people who are altering the environment, building or changing the environment in any way. Not just building a house, but also tearing houses down. Especially anything. Planting trees is okay, but like cutting them down was not okay. They did indicate that brain aneurysms. They found 2 victims that had brain aneurysms, but they also found fungal growths inside their cheeks and a desiccation of their flesh in the head indicated the killer's involvement. So they found a total. The earliest victim found was dated in 1961. They also found several victims that were killed under mysterious circumstances, accidental deaths, but highly improbable. And the killer's never seen, except once through a security camera that was placed near a convenience station. But they don't have the tape or the record there, so you have no idea what the killer was supposed to look like. They couldn't identify it very well, so they came with a plan to set up like, we're going to build a giant building here, and then they set up a woodshed essentially near the construction site with a trap door that an agent could go into and then escape out the trap door. And when the killer went in to follow him, an explosive was triggered. They found body parts, but the explosive was more powerful than they thought, so they couldn't identify the killer. So, they abandoned everything and left. And case closed. Because, with the explosion and also the construction site being abandoned, there was too much heat for them to stay and investigate. So they took the body parts and got rid of them. And also the killer wasn't wearing ID, so they, he had part of a face in 1985. You can't really identify it. And so they're like, well, that's good enough. And so that's the overall victim. They also do note they're very perturbed by UFO sightings in the area throughout the 1960s to the 1980s. So that's the overview of the case. That's what you get with your various checks. It was so apparently they did monitor it. There are a couple follow-ups, and they say 5 years later there have been no other killings. Every other death in the region can be explained through normal means. There are no improbable deaths. There are no impossible deaths. No more brain aneurysms with fungal growths in the cheek. So that's what you get with a couple hours of work and some successful skill checks. So at this point, the full day is sort of passed for everybody, so you can all talk and figure out your next move. Actually, Physician DeMarco, you can go ahead and give me that biology check.
07.
Okay. It's a new species of fungus. I recognize it. It's not in any database. You're not a specialist in the field, so you can't get much more than that, but it does not correspond to anything you have recognized or would be in a standard database or easy means to identify.
Can I run a pharmacy check on it?
I'm sorry, what?
Can I run a pharmacy check on it to see if it reacts to any normal fungicides?
I do have skill in pharmacy.
Yeah, give me a pharmacy check. You only have this one sample. If you test it, you lose it.
I got 70% in it, so I'll give it a try.
Okay.
And I roll 100. Never mind.
You roll 100? All right, make a SAM check.
So I want to roll under my sanity, right?
Yep, you sure do.
30 out of 85.
Okay. Let's see here. You feel like someone just hammered the inside of your skull, and you start bleeding from the nose and the mouth, and a little bit from the eyes. So you lose 1 sanity. You take 3 points of damage. As there is just an acrid smoke. It just like you just scorch the dish. You feel miserable. And that was incredibly bizarre. You have no idea what the fuck happened. Yep. So good job there.
Yeah.
You all can talk and try and figure out what you want to do next, or what you've picked up a little bit of information. You can talk about theories. Or
so what does the doctor tell us before his eye bleeding or after?
That was part of it. Like, it's a new species of fungus, like that isn't recognizable.
So, but he mentioned the Ebola symptoms.
I don't know. Do you, doctor?
No.
Yeah.
All right.
I messed up like this.
What would it be to notice signs of blood in unusual areas on his face, just in case.
You weren't at the lab. I mean,
Fair enough. I meant afterwards. Did he
Yeah,
get it all?
I would say alertness at half.
Sounds fair.
Oh, as Dan rolls.
Nope.
All
He's
right.
fine. Everything's normal.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, what do you guys want to do? Or do you have any theories yet?
I mean, I guess maybe we should find out what that law firm was up to. I mean, just with the history of the case, we know that it appears to have something to do with cutting down trees or, building buildings. We know this guy was a real estate developer. If you're going to make a big housing development, you're probably going to have to talk to some lawyers. I mean, I think we should figure out exactly what they were up to.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to check the guy's house because I'm sure he's got some personal documents hidden away in his house somewhere that might give us a clue to move forward with.
Okay.
That's going to be on computers now. Has anyone got the computer skills to get into a secure computer of any kind?
Yeah. No.
I have computer science at 50. I mean, I know my way. I'm not great, but I know my way around them.
Okay.
My next question is: we want to probably look at the scene of the development because that's probably the instigating event.
Okay. You can certainly do that.
The people that disappeared, was that after the murder or before the murder? Lawyer and paralegal.
Let's see here. They disappeared before.
Oh, weird.
Oh.
About how long before?
About a week.
Huh. Okay. Other thought here is if it was a Roman guardian spirit and it's a wide blade that's sort of machete but not really, could it be a Roman short sword?
Yeah, you can't rule that out. Yeah.
Okay.
That's certainly consistent.
Do we
I
have
mean,
a
a
last
Roman
name
short sword
location?
someone used to hack up some plants with too. I'm sorry, what?
Do we have a last known location on the two lawyers or the lawyer and paralegal?
The office that they worked at. Newton, Wilson, and Boone, I think.
So they didn't have like a cell phone or a car GPS or anything?
I mean, the local police haven't looked that up yet. Like they don't have those kind of resources. Plus, it's a missing persons case, and not a murder case, so they haven't, gotten on that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do that. Yeah, you could look that up. You probably get more information.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. So someone give me a bureaucracy check to navigate that.
I'm pretty good at bureaucracy. Is someone else better?
Yeah.
I got a
bureaucracy
60.
is out of state.
We got a 50.
I got 50.
Okay. Roll
Here we go.
Bean footage.
Yep, 17 out of 60.
All right, so I'll take you some time. Archivist. You can also be thinking about what other information you want to get out of this, because you can't take these documents with you; they are secure. So you can take notes, but you're not allowed to take the case file. So, and these are case files that are not supposed to be digitized. Only certain elements are, and it's a very secure environment, is what you're gathering about this place.
Are there? I don't know. Do they have any more details about the forest, or any more details about? Do they cross-reference? Do the case files mention that this is related to anything else? Are there any keywords? I mean, the forest and the cutting down the trees seems relevant. Do they extrapolate anywhere on that?
That's a valid question to ask. Give me another criminology check.
Okay, criminal. All right, so my criminology's low, but I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Oh, nope, didn't get it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of checking. Yeah, it's a chaotic kind of pile of files. Like they didn't spend a lot of time organizing these things. Probably because they thought they might have to burn them at any given moment to avoid their own criminal liability and murdering someone. So anyway, with the GPS information, you track them down. They did go to a house that is sort of they went to a house in a different neighborhood, neither of which they both went to the same house, and neither of them lived there.
Oh, that's the lawyer and the paralegal.
Yeah, the lawyer and they were there
at the same time.
Yep.
Okay. And that's like the last GPS reading.
Yep, it looks like their phones were shut off there.
I think maybe go there.
Okay. So you go there, and there's a car parked in the driveway.
Would it be their car?
No, it's a different car.
Okay.
It actually has rental tags on it.
That's odd. Is there any? Well, did anyone else come with me?
I don't.
I would.
Okay.
B, I guess there's no reason to worry about a rental car. Well, do we know if their cars were gone or?
Well, this is weeks later, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
remember, it's like 7 weeks ago that they went missing, because I said the murder was 6 weeks ago, and this is a week before that.
Right. So we would need a warrant to get in there unless they invite us in, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you want to break the law.
We could also check for signs of forced entry. We're allowed to do that.
Good point. We will do that.
Okay.
I guess alertness?
Sure.
See if there's anyone moving around out here.
I mean, it's actually the house is kind of set off by itself. It's like the first house in a relatively new development, like a couple years ago. It's it's got a nice view of a lake, or really a big pond. But,
okay. Well, 15 out of 50. So yeah.
Okay. No, there's no signs of forced entry in the house.
Okay.
Actually, with that, you do spot an unusual keypad lock next to the garage, or like it's like
a real estate kind of lock.
It's like a keypad. It's got got a number combination on it, and when you open it and when you get it, it would open up a hollow space inside.
So like a key holder for like a real estate agent.
Yep.
Okay. Is the house listed with any realty companies?
It is currently not for sale. You can give me an idea check.
Okay.
And so can the other agent too.
Yep.
Well, that could be, and this house could be used as an Airbnb.
Okay. So
you've seen these kind of things, arrangements and Airbnbs you've done yourself.
Which stat is idea?
Intelligence ×5.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Airbnb. That makes some sense.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Check Airbnb listings for it.
Well, I mean, they don't show the exact street address for Airbnb listings.
Well,
yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Check for the lawyer and paralegal as to whether they had an Airbnb reservation or were contracted with Airbnb to set something up.
That would require a computer science check, because that would be breaking into their accounts. So
I give it to one of the other guys.
All right.
I'm interested in what the hell these guys are up to. I could do a computer science check to see if I could get some info about.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Very good computer science check.
Okay. With that, you have access to law enforcement data entry tools. So like you broke into the guy's email account. And so you can read his emails. And when you read his emails, it becomes apparent that he's having an affair with the, let's see here. Bethany and Ray were having an affair. And, they couldn't wait to see each other. And that was their last emails.
So first things first, like they haven't sent any emails since they've disappeared?
No.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, I mean, I relate to the group that they were having an affair. They probably booked this place.
Yeah, you find the Airbnb reservation in his account.
Well, that explains part of that.
Yeah, probably.
Were they both married?
To different people.
Can we do a check on their credit card, see if they popped up anywhere?
That would require a bureaucracy check.
Do that.
Okay.
Yep.
I make my bureaucracy.
I cannot
check.
do that.
Well, one of you did. So
Okay, good enough.
there are two victims. You find out one. You get access to one of their credit cards. They have not spent any money since they have gone.
So it's a better Airbnb, California kind of situation. They never left.
Apparently, I mean, well, you don't know what happened, but yeah, they didn't. They haven't spent any money since then. So they.
Can
I petition for a warrant in relation to the case?
how about we rent the Airbnb?
That was actually my thought too. Otherwise, we're going to have to bring the locals in on it
Okay.
because this is not the murder investigation.
Yeah, let's just see if we can rent it. Like maybe it's available. Like maybe you guys can just
Mhm.
walk in if we make a reservation. We have.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a rental car here, so
Yeah. Someone else is renting it right now.
Right.
So, yeah, the next opening is in another day, so you can rent it tomorrow.
yeah, we'll do that and get back there.
Yeah. Let's pull the trigger on that.
Okay.
I mean, they may have just gone here and then driven away into the sunset.
I mean, you can't rule that out either.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a fairly high persuade. Maybe we could talk our way in as an option if somebody's here.
Well, you think well the current belief is that the person currently at the house is just another person Airbnb-ing. So
Yeah, they're busy cheating on their spouse.
yeah, something like that.
Worse, they're there to check out hot real estate opportunities. Hey, are there any cut trees in the nearby, yard or woods?
Nope. But if you go through the email, the Ray's email account, you also find references to Sam Lloyd and the case. The legal work. People were against them, tearing down a wildlife refuge to build condominiums in the area. So and the law firm was working on that. And apparently Ray at one point sends emails. You kicked ass at the hearing today. So
Okay.
apparently they were visibly and Bethany replies, you were really helpful yourself. So apparently they were publicly visible as trying to get this condo built at a hearing to try and stop the construction.
That paints a very possibly clear picture. Someone or something wanted to off them for being involved with this project. Who else is involved with the project? We don't want anyone else.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Someone can give me criminology or bureaucracy and piece it together like a mob family. Only, it's a criminal syndicate. Only it's, just a real estate. Yeah.
So a criminal syndicate.
Yeah.
I make my criminology.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's like 50 people involved. It's a multi-million-dollar thing. But oh boy, this is getting statistically unlikely. Let's see here. Garrett Elliott died of a brain aneurysm.
Oh dear.
6 months ago. Then let's see here, a construction foreman, Nathan Austin, was beaten to death, and his body was found, alongside a river nearby. Then, and just last week, Aaron Graham died when his car backed over him. It was parked on the top of the hill, and for some reason, it's actually treated as a suspicious death because it looks like the parking brake was on, but then there's security video, home video of someone in a ski mask lurking around his house, and the parking brake was, disabled, and it just ran over him. Of course, no one saw anything, so it's suspicious circumstances, not quite ruled as an accident yet.
And he was connected how?
He was a architect.
Ah.
He was also handling the construction of it. He was involved in that, so not like a full architect, I guess, but like
full architects go to sites.
Yeah. So yeah.
Were all three of these people more openly visible than others?
Yep.
Okay, so all right, so it's non-obvious to the outside who's involved with this, and people who have been obviously involved with this are dropping like flies.
Yeah, over a 6-month period.
Huh. Who was suing to prevent the construction?
A local nonprofit, Friends of the Forest, headquartered here in Fraser.
Okay. Is there a nonprofit with a similar name involved in the other, I guess, what was it, Vermont?
No. There were no, there's no condo being built. There's no singular incident in Vermont. It was just someone tore down a house and then he died of a brain aneurysm. Someone cut down several trees and then someone stabbed him and they never caught the killer.
And in Vermont, everything was happening within a single town, so the area of everything,
like a single county.
County.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Are they in the Vermont case? Is it centered around a place or just?
Yeah, there's actually some references to another case. Let's see here. They actually there are some handwritten notes in these, and refer to the Kaylee letters in handwritten at Miskatonic.
Oh, good.
That's not too far from DC, is it? That's
nope.
No. Perhaps we should refer to
Akili letters. Yeah, Akili. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
My heebie-jeebie sense is up, so maybe following what was known back then. I mean, I wouldn't mind driving out to Miskatonic and finding these.
Okay. All right. So apparently this is, you realize, of course, the two of you who are researching these archives, that this is a partial record. Apparently there's a lot of things that they didn't write down at all. That was just passed on through oral tradition. You ask about the agents who are involved in this, but they're all dead.
Surprise.
Yeah. Well, this was done in 1985, so even if they didn't live the lives that they did, there's a good chance they could have been dead anyway. You two drive up to Miskatonic. Give me bureaucracy checks to get the letters.
Oh, bad bureaucracy for me.
That's no.
All right. You cannot locate them. You can ask for help, or you can try one more time. But that if you try again and fail, then it's beyond your ability to find.
Is there anyone I can persuade? My persuades.
Yeah.
I'm very personable. All right. So persuading somebody at the university to help me find where the hell these things are.
Yeah, apparently it's in the possession of the records of a professor, Albert Wilmarth. So, so you need to. You apparently someone named Akeli sent, who lived in Vermont, sent a letter to Wilmarth. Yeah, you can give me a bureaucracy check to see what happened to it.
Or
persuade check. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Decent persuade.
All right. So, there's a librarian there, and she says, we don't get many requests for this. It'll be down in the basement, in our old records. I can find it. Can I ask what you're researching about? Is it about Wilmar's theories of folklore?
Yes. Yeah. No. That I'm just very interested, and I heard these letters, and I'd love to read them.
Okay. So she believes he's like, okay. Yeah. And yeah, we'll get back to you.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, let's see here. Team Colorado. You'd say you booked the Airbnb. You can wait for that, or is there anything you wanted to do before you do the Airbnb?
Did anyone from Vermont say, or with a family history of being Vermontese, as it were, are they like associated with the Friends of the Forest or anything like that?
How are you going to figure that out?
No idea, but I guess look at who's in the Friends of the Forest.
Okay. Yeah, they have a website
Okay.
that lists, the officers of it, president, treasurer, blah, blah, blah. They're just names.
And now was this
a couple of years?
I'm sorry, what?
So with a lot of nonprofit, those change every couple of years. So if the website's out of date, we may not be getting current information.
It seems to be pretty new. Apparently, Friends of the Forest was formed to fight the condo.
That was going to be my question. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So check the biographies of those people.
Okay.
Take a while, but I guess.
Yeah. Give me a bureaucracy check.
Sure. Yes, I think.
Okay.
Bureaucracy 60. Yes, made it by 1.
No ties to Vermont that you can see.
Well, that's probably for the best.
What was I going to do? Make it easy for you?
Would it really have been easy? Would that really matter?
All right. So,
can I make a bureaucracy or law check to see if they did anything underhanded to get the real estate development started? Something that
company?
would make someone angry? Yes.
Sure. Law.
Sounds like forensic accounting.
Yeah, accounting would work. Yeah, if you had accounting.
My accounting and law are both 30, so this is a shot in the dark.
Hey, 30 is better than 10%.
Okay. You say that, but
my head still hurts after 170.
Yeah. I mean, doctor, you recover like that. You clean up pretty nice. So what do you? What was you? What? Yeah, you don't have anything left to experiment on though.
No, I was making a joke about the impact of making a roll on 30.
Okay, sure. You want to make a bug bomb? Yeah, go for it. Or a fungal bomb? Sure.
Yeah, I'll try and do that.
Okay. Anyways, looks like you failed your research check. So yeah, you have no idea what the. It seems to be legit. Like there's nothing, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, et cetera, et cetera. So you can't figure out anything with that. Yep.
Who was the owner of the land before the developers got a hold of it?
I mean, it was a wildlife refuge. It was like a.
It was like state refuge.
Yeah.
Federal.
Yep. State.
Okay. So they bought it from the state.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Weird. How did the state end up selling such a thing? I think they wouldn't.
Well, I mean, states love, it's all about public partnerships, and like we should. It was sold years ago to a speculator who helped found the condo development essential. Basically, yeah, it was back when government was trying to save money and sell off as many public assets as it could. So yeah, that's actually very believable.
I think you also just described kleptocracy, but that's a different problem.
Yeah. Well, little column A, little column B. So yeah, it was bought from bought from the state, and then they started building, and then it was stopped because of the lawsuit. And
then the death.
Deaths.
Yes.
But yeah, the murder in particular seems to have slowed down because he was apparently one of the prime drivers for getting the condo finished.
Is there anyone still at the firm that worked the case alive?
Yeah.
I would like to talk to them then.
Okay, sure. Let's see here. Under what pretext?
Under the pretext that there could be dirty money coming into this related to the murder itself. Would I need to make a bureaucracy or accounting check to fabricate anything for that?
Sorry, what credentials do you have? Are you the FBI guy?
Yeah, FBI cold case.
Yeah. I mean, your badge is enough to get you in for an interview. You can just the law firm will definitely want to oh no, we're not dirty at all. What do you know, Mr. FBI man? And then they'll definitely want to talk to you at least initially to find out what you know, and then they'll stonewall you. Is your guess of how they're gonna react to you? But yeah, you can do that. So you meet a lawyer. His name is, or her name is Heather Simpson. And Heather is eager to talk and set the record straight that we've heard all kinds of rumors about Mr. Lloyd being a criminal or having connections to dirty money. We can assure you we have plenty of proof. She hands you a folder of his financials. Whoever killed him, it must have been a personal grudge, or it must have been some sort of random act, a criminal, a home invasion. But to impugn Mr. Lloyd's reputation after his death is just inexcusable.
Well, we are currently looking at this case in the light of possibility of dirty money. We are also concerned about the fact that the lawyer and paralegal that worked on the case have currently been missing for a number of weeks now, and we're wondering if there might be any connection that you could foresee.
You can give me a human roll. If you have it.
Yep, make that.
Oh yeah, no, she's like, oh fuck, they know about that. Well, we do not comment on personnel issues. As far as they are no longer employed by us, as far as we know, they have eloped. We have uncovered a proof that they were having an affair, and they have probably fled the country.
Fled the country as lawyers. It's interesting, especially that you would terminate their employment after the fact of.
Well, they didn't show up for work, as you've said. They left. You have to show up to keep your job.
But there's a missing persons case filed.
Well, I mean, their spouses are obviously, don't want to believe the truth that they're having an affair.
Why would they flee the country? Did they embezzle money from you or from the condo development or something?
Not to our knowledge, but perhaps they just didn't want to deal with the messy divorce. Since they were both married to different people.
That seems pretty extreme for divorce is every other house in the U.S.
I would agree, but I'm not the one who I didn't have an affair and then run away. Perhaps they didn't flee the country. Maybe they're in California, or New York or Florida. I don't know.
I'm going to light a cigarette in the office, and I'm going to look her in the eye, and I'm going to say, cut the shit. Listen, we know something's wrong here, and obviously I can go at this point and get a warrant, and we can make this a lot more formal and make this a lot more troublesome for you and impede anything that you're doing currently. But I don't want to have to do that. Obviously, you don't want your operations impeded. You could just give us access to their files and we'll call it a nice, easy day. Otherwise, I'll have to go get a warrant for this.
She laughed. What? Extinguish that. That's this is a non-smoking office. Also, attorney-client privilege is still a fundamental right of our justice system. Go ahead, try to get whatever warrant you want. You'll be laughed out of court.
Not when the client's dead.
Exactly.
We'll fight it in court.
I mean, really, you've got nothing to fight it on.
Yeah. There's active. Well, it involves living clients. We represented all of the condo development fund, not just Mr. Lloyd.
Oh.
Well, your condo development fund seems to be dropping like flies.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'd like to roll a human on that.
Okay.
She's lying, isn't she? I made that.
She's nervous.
So, who's left in this condo development fund? Amongst the living.
There are multiple partners, and I am not at liberty to.
Let me rephrase that. Who is publicly associated with the condo?
I provided you financial documents already that prove Mr. Lloyd is not a criminal. His other public partners are listed there.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to ask, Miss Simpson? No. Okay. Moving on. Back to Miss Katonic. You find the letter, but as you do, just before you're able to look at it, another person comes out, an older woman, hobbling on a cane, and she's clearly out of breath, and but she looks at the two of you.
Can I intercept her so that my colleague can look at the letter?
She says, "Wait, what are you? You're trying to get the Achille letters? You should just leave well enough alone."
We're working on a book of folklore. What do you mean well enough alone?
Yeah, I know. I've been strange people have come demanding certain letters from this university before, and they're never working on books. I know what you're after. But you should just leave all of this alone. Let the dead remain dead and buried.
I mean, is she trying to physically stop me from looking at the letter? Because
no, she can't. I mean, she's an old woman. Yeah.
I guess I just tell her. I mean, Miss, I'm going to read this letter. I appreciate your concern. It sounds like you have some idea of what's going on here. Can I roll persuade or can I try to get her to tell me what she knows?
Yeah, you can persuade.
Yeah. Like, Miss, if this is this important, I would, and I get it with a 58 under 60.
Right. Well, if you're that depends. If you're actually working on a book, I'd tell you not to publish it.
Well,
you're not here to work on a book, are you?
No, we are not.
No.
Yeah. Librarian is still there, and she's very confused. But if you're there, a long time ago, some men came and asked about the letters, and they came, and I was curious, and I wanted to know what they wanted. I'll tell you this. Those letters talk about something that happened a long time ago, and refer to things that I don't know what's real and what was fantasy in that. But it caused nothing but heartache. You should just. Well, I don't know what led you here, but like it's not worth this. You're putting more at risk than you know.
Lives are being hang in the balance, ma'am. I appreciate your concern, but I'm going to proceed to read the letters.
Okay.
Can I like just take the librarian away just so she doesn't
Okay.
get
All right. Yeah. No. Good call.
More
Good job there. Minimize collateral damage. All right.
I mean, Miss Catodic, she's gonna get it sometime or another.
Fair enough. So, anyways, yeah, you take the letter, and you start to read it, and basically, it is this guy, he has who says he has proof that will convince Professor, Wilmarth that he must stop focusing on but you must on the existence of monsters. Apparently, there's some sort of record of an extraterrestrial race working with human agents, and the latter of whom shall put on the semblance of men and the waxen masks and the robe that hides. But there's an addendum to the letter, written in a different hand. You recognize it as the same hand that wrote the note in the first place from the documents. They, and that's all in capitals, left things behind. One of these things, someone else, they left their tools behind. We couldn't find what the tool was, but that's what drove the killer. Hopefully the tool is gone and no one will find it. If you're reading this, if you're reading this, that means we missed. Look for a tool, not a person.
Okay. Oof.
But you can continue reading the letter.
If there's more, I would like to continue reading.
They apparently worship several beings, including Cthulhu and Nyarlathotep.
Cool.
Yep.
Do they have a name, or are they just called they throughout?
Yeah, just they.
Okay. Okay. I tell everybody about what I read. That whoever worked on this case before says that. I mean, they claim there's an extraterrestrial intelligence, that there's some sort of tool that's doing these murders, and we should be looking for it.
Yep. So, yeah. Both of you realize, though, that, well, at this point, all of you, again, the suggestion I mentioned earlier is that you could try and look to see who disappeared, or who is listed as a missing person in Vermont in that county in 1985.
Right.
Meanwhile, back in the town, yeah, I'll assume you guys are starting on that. Yeah. Meanwhile, back in the town, you just had your interview with a lawyer. What do you want to do now? You can access your Airbnb now.
Well, I mean, who is the most prominent of the remaining visible partners?
Let's see here. There is a.
Or let me rephrase that.
No.
Are any of the remaining partners pushing to restart the construction?
Yeah.
That guy.
Let's see here. Jeffrey Harper.
Jeffrey.
Yep.
Right. And he's been agitated to get things started again, has he?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think Airbnb, since it's now available, we should get the doctor over there and go over the place and see if there's any hints whatsoever of, fungal misdeed.
Okay.
We should also look for obvious cases or signs of any kind of a struggle that have been covered up, if possible.
Okay. You can.
Or
everybody-
apparently waxed masks and weird robes.
You can give me forensics checks.
Forensics or search?
Actually, either one.
Okay. I know which one's higher. Yes, made search by 5%. So 45 out of 50.
My search too.
Let's see here. So you both. So wait, you both made it.
Yep.
Okay. You search the place. It's been cleaned multiple times. Obviously, it doesn't look like. I mean, yeah, it looks like a normal Airbnb type thing. However, because you both succeeded, you do find a small bloodstained, dried bloodstain in the house, indicating some blood dripped through or hit the just on the floor, just under a chair. So something that was missed, somebody wouldn't see, obviously.
All right, collect that.
And you also step outside, and the sort of backyard area of this place opens up onto the pond directly. You know, it's a great view. And when you go out there to look at the pond, because it's right there, you faintly see something metallic reflecting back at you. Just a tiny bit.
Okay. Like out in the pond or by
In the
shore?
pond.
I mean, in the pond near the shore, or in the pond out in the pond.
Nearest the shore. Near the shore.
All right. Is there a long stick handy?
It's a little too far for that.
I'll go
Are
swimming
there
if
two
need
long
be.
sticks?
All right, give me an athletics check if you want to strip down and swim.
Would that be Dex times 5?
There's an athletics skill.
Oh, there it is. That might be bad. Crit fail.
Okay, you start drowning.
All right. Who just fell in?
Browning,
meant to be
50-year-old
that?
agent.
Yeah. The water is a lot colder than you thought it would be. It shocks you, and you you swallow a bunch of water.
And we drag him out without going too far in.
If you're willing to get wet and everything, you're able
Sure.
to. You can if you give me a Dex times 5 check, I'll let you pull them back.
Yep, that's better than my athletics. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep, 12 out
Okay.
of 60. So yeah.
All right, you pull them back. You puke out. Browning pukes out some water, and is otherwise okay.
Ugh, squelch.
Yep.
Water's too
Hey,
far.
it's an Airbnb. There's towels inside.
Yeah. You're gonna have to get someone with scuba gear or call it in to see if you want if you
Or a boat.
or get somebody else to risk it. Yeah.
I have a 50 in athletics.
Yeah.
But-
you can get there and give it a shot. Or wait, are you one of the Miskatonic people?
No, I was one of the Colorado people.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Before we do that, do we have the resources to go someplace and get like cave diving gear?
Cave?
Just because that'd be something you can do anywhere in the U.S.
Sure. You can rent it if you need to.
Okay. Just to make it a little safer.
Okay, sure.
Sure.
Then I'll give it a try. 38 out of
All right.
50.
All right. Yeah, no, it's a car.
Oh boy.
Is there anything inside it? I assume I went down with like a flashlight or something. I'll try to shine it.
Wait, so you were actually scuba diving?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I think normally you would need like that special training thing, but yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna really give a shit. Diving 10 feet in a pond is not gonna be that hard. Yeah, there's 2 bodies in it. A man and a woman.
We
Pretty
called it
decomposed.
sand.
Give me a sand check.
Yeah, I got 95 out of an 84.
Yep. That's spoopy. You lose 3 sanity.
It's a little weird. No one noticed this before.
I
guess it was hard to see.
No one actually looks out at the pond. No one really.
Fair
looks
enough.
at it. Yeah. It actually was covered down. You both made search checks for it, and you were already suspicious of these people.
Yep.
Just disappearing. So you were kind of like, did the killer, dump the car in the pond? Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to bring in the locals on this and let them, and then work the forensics with their techs?
I don't think that's a great idea. I think we might want to pull in resources through our handler because we want to try and keep the locals out of this, unless we want to indoctrinate some friendlies.
No, I'm not inclined to do that either.
Fair enough.
These bodies out of here.
Yeah, preferably without getting exposed to whatever they were exposed to. Irony land. I mean, other guy had plant matter and fungus, so.
And he was stabbed to death.
Right?
These two looks like they were drowned in a car.
Well, no, they were in a car that went underwater. We don't know how they died yet.
One died of a brain aneurysm with fungus. Another was killed by a parking brake accident.
Although someone was spotted near the parking brake. Someone wearing a ski mask and spraying.
Ah. Huh.
I think I did mention that.
I think you did mention that.
Oh.
Now that we know what we know about the waxed masks, can we, once we have this handled, take another look at the, we don't have photographic evidence of the person near the parking brake, do we?
No, you get that. I mean, that was recent. So that was like someone's, Nest security camera from next door or something like that. Just, when the police combed the neighborhood, they found that. And so it's just like a screenshot of that video file. So it's just like, a little video clip, someone just like sort of creeping, being very suspicious.
Is he kind of shorter than 5'11"?
Yeah.
And is his face kind of, I don't know, weirdly rigid?
You can't really tell.
Oddly smooth?
I mean, the person is wearing a ski mask.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of the purpose of the ski mask.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, the police did go back and do I'll even tell you this for free, is that the police did do a second round of interviews after they found the video footage to see if anybody saw, someone creeping around about in a ski mask. But everyone at the time was distracted with something else. Someone's, was watching a lot of TV. Someone else was cleaning up after their kid. Had, a diaper accident. Another person, this was in broad daylight too.
It's almost like someone's got a freakish control of probability.
I mean, I'm just telling you what the police found. So,
we have 2 options in front of us. We can make this a lot more public by calling in outside resources through our handler, or we can pull in the stadies and possibly have to indoctrinate every stadie that touches this case.
Well, you're assuming that we find something weird in the bodies. I mean, right now we don't have no evidence in the car.
Well, actually, let's go back to the Miskatonic people. Both of you make your bureaucracy checks, or to see if you can find who is missing in 1985.
Okay.
No.
Bureaucracy. So bad.
All right. Yep. I will say you don't. I mean, there are those records. You can't not find them, but you can't narrow it down. So there are 3 names that went missing in 1985 that still aren't explained. So,
do any of those 3 names have any relationship to to Colorado, or anyone living, or anyone involved with the
None of the named people you've specifically met so far or and researched. But I mean, Fraser, Colorado is a small town, but that's still 1,100 people.
Sure.
So, because you can't narrow it down to 3, you've only been able to narrow it down to 3. So you could research it in Vermont to see if they have any connections to Colorado. So that's 3 things to investigate rather than 1,100.
Sure. I mean, it's fair enough.
Okay.
I guess let's investigate one of these 3 people and try to learn. I mean, where would we start?
I mean, I'm not giving you names. I'm just gonna
Sure.
pick a number 1, 2, or 3.
2.
Can we pull their descriptions and pass them on to our teammates in Colorado?
You can, but these are people that missed in 1985. They were
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you said number 2. What do you want to do? Or one person said, yeah, the other guy. So 2.
I believe you both said 2. So
okay. So 2 and one of you pick 1 or 3.
I'll go with 1.
All right. All right. So both of you give me persuade checks to talk. You can track down a family member of each person, so you can do an interview with a family member. Both of you give me a persuade check.
I can persuade a family member.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay. So yeah, you're both interviewing family members, and that'll take you some time. But I'll give you some more information after we get back to the town and you guys make some decisions. You found bodies. Things are heating up. What are you gonna do?
I say we contact our handler and let her decide what organizations to involve next.
Okay.
But I want the bodies out of the car so I can look at them.
You want to get them out of the car, so you should.
Not this building. I'm telling the other
license plate number.
Yeah, you can get the license plate number.
Right.
It's a rental. That was when you track it down was rented. Ray rented it out. So yeah, they were trying to take some measure to cover up their affair, but not. I mean, the Airbnb and a rental car instead of just fucking using their own cars. You also find all their stuff in the trunk, including their phones. Actually, you haven't gotten that yet because you haven't pulled the car out yet. So the agent or your handler says, do you have any? Do you believe that there's a significant biohazard in the car?
It's a possibility considering the fungus that we discovered.
Well, there was one. Have you? I would recommend first doing an autopsy of the first victim, who in Colorado, who had a brain aneurysm 6 months ago.
Okay.
At least review those files, and then make a determination if there is a significant biohazard threat now. You could also test the water of the pond itself to see if the water's contaminated in some way.
Okay.
Do those first.
Do the autopsy, and these guys get the stuff for testing. And
Can I run a pharmacy check then?
mute for a second because I have to go use the restroom.
Okay. Pharmacy check to do what?
To test the water.
Yeah, sure. Why not? That actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. I'll do that quick before I go. 47.
Okay.
I have a 7. Yeah.
I don't make it.
Okay.
That's it.
So the water seems fine. It no unusual contaminants, certainly nothing unnatural. You pull up the file, and it does show signs that are mentioned in the Vermont files of unusual desiccation and a fungus in the inside the man's cheeks, in his mouth, on his cheeks. The growths are not really explained, and so the coroner, doesn't really do a good job of examining that part of it. So, yeah. Let's see here. Anything else you guys want to do in Fraser?
So I take it we got the bodies out of the pond.
No, you haven't.
Oh, okay. So you were looking at the files. Okay.
Yeah.
I have another question about the pond incident. How did they get the car back there without leaving tracks?
Well, it was 7 weeks ago.
Still.
I mean, it's just on grass, so
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't smushy enough then.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it now that you're looking at, you think you can kind of faintly see the tracks.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, it wasn't on the grass for very long.
Nope. Did we decide to leave it where it is?
Your handler wanted the test run on the
pond water.
Yeah, on the pond water.
Okay, I'm caught up.
Yeah.
Water is fine, so I don't see any reason we couldn't just have the Stadies help us pull it out of the water.
Yeah, you can certainly justify it as being investigating the original victim because of the connection of these victims to the first one because of the legal work. So the police chief is going to be a little like, I didn't want this, so because fuck. But meanwhile, back in Vermont, who wanted number one?
I did.
Yeah. So what you find out is the person who went missing in 1985 is a Professor Martin Woodley, who was a expert in classics and Roman literature, and he went missing in 1985. And his daughter Diana moved eventually to Fraser, Colorado. So that's what you find out from actually what happened is sorry, let me get the case. It was Woodley's daughter moved to Colorado, and after she had her own daughter, and that was of course years ago. But one of Woodley's other grandchildren remembered and is happy to tell you. So there is a Diana Woodley or Diana Woodley. Diana Woodley was the daughter who moved there, and now she passed on recently, actually like less than a year ago. And her daughter, Jessica Woodley, lives in Fraser as well.
Can I kind of BS them and talk about my love for that line of work and kind of try and see if there's any pictures or they give me any descriptions of any kind of artifact that he liked a lot?
Give me you're talking about his life. You can give me a alertness, I guess. Because
history or persuade, but
well, this is to notice something, I guess. Okay. No. They don't really have they have no idea what you're looking for.
I get it.
Yeah.
Out of 20.
So you do go through the photos and everything. She's happy to talk about her very esteemed, it's very tragic that he went missing because he was, quite passionate about nature and also history. He loved taking walks in the woods and the mountains of Vermont. I loved hiking. And the person mentions that he was eccentric, and one of the things he did, especially later in his life, he had this garden statue that he had made up to look like a genius loci, a guardian spirit. And what was weird was that he went out. He took it with him when he went hot air ballooning several times. As he until he got too old, he liked to take hot air balloons so he could view the countryside.
Yeah, that is odd.
But he joked that he was blessing the countryside with the guardian spirit, and of course he would quote Roman poetry and in Latin, of course, and everyone thought it was quite charming.
Great.
Yep. So, but yeah, you can track down Jessica Woodley and talk to her.
Sounds like that might be a reasonable plan.
Yeah.
Is my person a dud?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
That took you a couple hours to make sure of that, but yeah.
Sure.
All right. So yeah. Meanwhile, so you two can head back to Colorado to deal with the other shit if you want to.
I think that sounds reasonable. We have
All
a direct connection.
All right. So
I'm gonna take just a quick drive past Woodley's old house just to make sure the statue is in his garden.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. So yeah, he's it's not there.
Okay.
It's long gone. She apparently took everything with her. A different family lives there now. So, anyway, let's see here. What else? Yeah, Team Colorado. So yeah, you haven't decided. So you talk to local police. You tell them about the bodies, and they, get the salvage truck out, so they can haul it out. It's going to be top of the local news. FBI finds missing lawyers dead. So it's becoming a big thing. So yeah,
you don't have to mention it was us that found him. You guys take credit. It's cool.
Well, they do have their own, independent people gossip like crazy in this town. So it's not really up to.
Yeah, but who knew we were there and we're FBI agents?
Well, the police do.
Well, other than them. So.
Well, the police. There's plenty of police people in the.
Oh, you're saying they're leaky like a sieve. Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a bit of attention on the town now. But you get the information from your comrades on the East Coast as they're heading back. What did the three of you want? Yeah, the doctor starts working on the bodies, autopsying them. That'll take some time. You recover.
There was no statue in the trunk, right?
No.
Just checking.
Initial indications. The woman was stabbed to death with a wide blade, similar to if not identical to the one that stabbed Sam Lloyd, the original victim. But the other victim, apparently, no external wounds. Yeah. So it'll take some time to determine if it was another brain aneurysm.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, the forensics on the car are going to be terrible because pond.
Yeah.
Look anyway for evidence of a third individual.
You can canvass the neighborhood. It was 7 weeks ago.
Well, I meant like forensic evidence in the car. Clothing, hair.
Yeah, you can do a search. That'll take time, but yeah, give me a forensic check.
Sure. All right, that's a big 30. Let's see how that goes. That would be more than twice. Nope, nothing here. Well,
okay.
We didn't think there'd be anything anyway.
Yeah. All right. So, well, there's that. So yeah, what do you want to do? You've heard about the Woodley connection now.
Okay. So just planning for the future a little bit here. I have heavy weapon skill. What kind of heavy weapon do you think we should be getting in here just in case we find something active?
If it's a statue, how about a rocket launcher?
Pondering grenade launchers, pondering flamethrower might be appropriate to antifungal.
Flamethrower and maybe a Browning.
I missed what you said.
Flamethrower and maybe a Browning. There seems to be a human element, and I'm not sure how resilient it is to bullets.
Right. I guess they used high explosives last time. I don't think we need to do that.
All right. Yeah. I mean, if you want to try and acquire a heavy weapon of some sort.
I'm just throwing it out there. If anyone else feels strongly about it, I think we should. If no one else does, I'm good.
I mean, we might be fighting aliens. I mean, if we're to believe this strange Ackley fellow, perhaps this isn't the most ridiculous plan in the world.
Oh, the Ackley later, by the way, is dated like 1931, so or 1927, something like that.
Regardless, I mean, Ackley seems to think that there's some spooky stuff.
So like 50-year gap, kind of.
Not quite.
But a similar time frame, kind of, between then and 31, 85, and 85 to now.
Yeah.
I think it might be time that we try and pull a warrant to get the dead attorney or the dead lawyer as files on the whole case. We have enough evidence that we could easily pull it at this point because it seems to be connected.
Like what the judge will want to know what you expect to find in there.
3 dead bodies. We're looking for a connection or some kind of underhanded trade that may have created enemies of some kind.
But you have no evidence of the enemies now.
3 dead bodies is usually enough for a judge.
Not for
but you need to say what we're looking for and where.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Also attorney-client privilege. Also, judges are more deferential to very powerful or very expensive law firms than some rando drug dealer.
And judges also are random on the draw. It's like some are great, some are elected. Have we tracked down Jessica Woodley yet?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yeah, easily.
Let's do that.
Yep. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
So you find her house. What do you want to do?
Look for garden statuary at a distance.
There doesn't appear to be any.
Okay. Hey, actually, have we checked the construction site for the condo development?
Nope.
Let's do that. See if there's any little, shrines.
Okay. I mean, it's closed to the public. Do you want to try and talk to yourself into getting a guided tour, or do you want to break in?
Either or.
I need a choice. I need a decision.
Let's not break in until we have to.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
I was looking for consensus.
All right. So you contact a contractor, and he's like, "What do you? Why? What? Why do you need to search my place? Why do you need to search the construction site?"
So it's public news about the lawyers being found now?
Yeah.
So bodies associated with the project. We just want to have a quick look around. Who knows what we'll find? You don't want to be one of the bodies, obviously.
Wait, is there a threat against me?
Not that I know of, but we thought anyway.
Okay, give me a persuade check. It's not
that was
not the greatest sell.
No, it wasn't.
You're the least subtle group of people I can think of.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic roll. So 23 out of 50.
All right, sure. Yeah.
I just kind of start gesturing and blowing smoke, and
I'll do whatever the police tell me to do.
That's a fine idea, young man. A fine idea.
So he takes you on a guided tour of the construction site. It's a very you can give me alertness checks.
Okay.
Is anyone else going?
Yep.
Yeah,
I made that.
I
okay.
failed.
You did make it though. Okay.
Yep, I made by one.
There's nothing that looks like it. There's certainly nothing. There's no garden statuary. There's no weird shrines. There's no obvious death traps. There's nothing hinky about it as far as you can see. Now this is all just looking. You haven't pried open every crate.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the extremes yet.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks totally on the up and up.
All right, thank him.
One quick thing: do we know? Has anybody been taking any? Just before we talk, we should talk to Jessica Woodley. But beforehand, has anybody been taking any hot air balloon rides around here? That was one thing that stuck me.
Yeah.
Good.
There have been. There is a hot air balloon company that you can take hot air balloons and see the Rocky Mountains.
Could I go?
Is it the Mercury Balloon Company?
Sure. Yeah. It's the Mercury Balloon Company. Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, the Mercury Balloon Company. Yeah.
Maybe we could go ask them if they do business with Jessica Woodley, and if we get talking to them, maybe specifically ask if Jessica Woodley goes up with a little garden gnome.
Okay.
Maybe just go talk to the person. Does anyone think?
Yeah. There's a nice old man who answers like, "Hello, would you like to go in a hot air balloon, laddie?"
I think I would love to, but I wanted to ask you if about a local woman. Has a certain Jessica Woodley, does she do business with you often?
No. Don't recognize the name. Are you a cop? You have to tell me if you're a cop.
I'm not a cop. That's not a lie, by the way.
Okay.
Well, is there any woman who goes on balloon rides frequently? I'm a bit of an enthusiast. Maybe with who brings a weird object with her?
A weird object?
Sort of like a little statue.
Oh, you're one of her friends.
Yes.
Are you, or maybe you're shy on her? You like her? You don't know her name yet? Is that it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, what's your name?
You know what? I tell him my name. I am. Oh God, what is my name? I am Neil. My name's Neil.
Neil. What's your last name?
Leeson.
I'll go call her and ask her if she knows you. If you give me your phone number, I can pass it on to her. And then she can reach out to you if she wants to. Does that sound fair?
Okay, look. There's an investigation going on, and I would really appreciate some information.
What?
What's the closest thing to an intimidation skill here?
Just persuade.
Persuade. I want to persuade this guy. I tried to be nice. The guy played hardball, so yeah.
Did he? He just thought you were like, creeping on her and wanting to ask her for a date. Like
I was thinking we just trace the call he makes and we're good.
Well,
but go for it.
Unfortunately, I have rolled a 99.
Whoa.
Well, good. Now he's sure you're just creeping on her.
Yeah. Fuck the police. He hangs up.
Whoops. Okay. Well.
As a thought, could I interrogate the site foreman for any gossip about Lloyd? I'm sure that there's some interaction that's made them a little unhappy with each other, and he might have heard something.
Yep, you could. Sure.
Does the foreman have any specific name? I might have missed that part.
Steve.
Steve. So, I know it's ill to speak of the dead and all that, but I'm sure you've heard something about Mr. Lloyd in the past, or maybe he's done something that you might have questioned. Maybe even like the development itself. I You've been around the block, I'm sure. You wouldn't mind telling me, would you?
All right, make your check.
And I make that 47.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, he was an asshole. He was always yelling at people, trying to get shit done. Didn't apologize for it. Fucking hated the hippies and the tree huggers who wanted to preserve the fucking forest or whatever. You know, yeah, but you know, he was just a jerk. Everyone hated him. But I mean, you know, his checks cleared, so you know, kind of fuck it.
Did he happen to get into any fights or arguments with any particular hippies or anything like that?
Not that I remember. No, I mean they weren't. They're like he called them hippies, but they really weren't. They're just like mostly people who lived in this town and just liked the little wildlife refuge. They just, you know, not my backyard. They're just a bunch of NIMBY assholes as well. They just, yeah. I mean, there's probably everyone in that town. Half the town probably donated to that stupid nonprofit to fight the condo. Nobody want. I think more people didn't want the condo to go up because they didn't want a bunch of hippies or hipsters and yuppies from Denver moving in.
That leads me to wondering if Jessica might have donated, or even if she's on the board of the.
She's not.
She's not.
No.
Has she donated?
You don't know. You don't have their donor list.
Can I make an accounting or bureaucracy check for that?
No, you'd have to have you have to get access to the records, which you'd have to ask for them, get a search warrant, or steal them.
Or we could just get her financials somehow.
I mean, it sounds like the balloon guy knows who has the statue.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. I actually so I sort of, I guess the group didn't necessarily in game hear my conversation, but like though I unfortunately bungled a conversation with the balloon guy, he did essentially confirm that there is a woman who does go up in the balloon with a weird statue, and we know that Woodley did this. I mean, I think Jessica Woodley most likely has this object and is doing whatever the same thing her grandfather did. I think that we can proceed assuming that that's the case. There's an outside chance that this person is someone other than Jessica, but I think I mean, the man did say that he didn't know a Jessica, but perhaps Jessica is using a fake name or alias as she does this.
Or it could have been a friend of her mother's that got the statue instead of staying in the family.
That is a possibility.
But I mean, I don't necessarily have the skill set for this, but someone could sneak in there and check. Actually, we could just check his financials. Someone can hack him. It's a balloon ride.
All right. Yeah.
I think that'd probably be fastest and easiest.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I want to fix my mistake. I have computer science. Can I try to hack Balloon Man?
Sure. Why would you hack me, Larry? I just want to give people balloon rides. Don't you like balloon rides?
I love balloon rides. I also love hacking, and I got 36 under 50.
All right, yeah. He has several repeat customers. So there's 5 repeat customers you can see in the last 6 months. And then a lot of people who just do it once. So
how many of those are women?
3.
3. Okay. Can we do something with those 3 names? Search databases, see if any of them are around, or notably if any of them don't exist.
Only 2 of them live in Fraser. One of them is someone from Denver.
Okay.
Could we cross-reference the times of the murder, the suspected times of the murders with the times of the balloon rides, possibly?
You don't know when the balloon rides were. You just have when the credit card was paid,
Okay.
charged.
Right.
It's not like, all right, before you step on the balloon, let me get your credit card, and he puts in a little payment feeder. Like, they probably take care of that before or after the ride. You would guess. It's probably not during. We're 500 feet up. Time to get my money. Otherwise, it's out of the basket with you. But you need me for ballast. I don't need that.
If I hacked into his records, would I have his scheduling stuff? I mean,
You hacked his credit card payment
Right.
stuff, so you have his payment records. That's it.
fair enough.
You can make another check, but if you fail, you get locked out.
I think it might be prudent to try if there's an exact. I mean, if we see like a minute to minute comparison, then we can sort of bring in the cavalry, right? So maybe I'll give this another try.
Okay. Well, I mean, all right, yeah. By the way,
You sort of are the cavalry.
Team that is true. Team Miskatonic has come back at this point.
Yes.
So everyone's back in Fraser, California, or Colorado. Jesus, why do I keep saying that? So which record you wanted his balloon schedule? All right, so you get his Haggis email account, which has his calendar too, and nothing corresponds.
Nothing. All right. So it seems that there isn't a literally one-to-one direct relationship between balloon rides and killing.
Nope.
Okay.
Let's see here. Where is everybody at this point? I guess is everybody's probably at a hotel room that you've rented, right?
I assume.
Well, we're not staying in an Airbnb, let me tell you.
You're not staying in an Airbnb. Okay.
No.
So everybody's at the hotel room, sort of planning. The autopsy results. At this point, you can make a medicine check or forensics for the bodies of the victims. The lawyers. Whoever's the doctor. Who's playing the doctor again?
Travis, I thought?
Yeah, that's me. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Can I make a pit stop to pick up a couple of respirators on the way back from the airport?
Sure.
That's a pretty fabulous idea, really, because fungus.
Oh, that's a good point.
So I take it that we're going to do this in complete hazmat gear then?
The various respirators.
All right. So, did you make your forensic check for the bodies?
Yes, they did a 15 out of 60.
Okay. So, woman was stabbed to death with a blade similar or identical to the one that Sam Lloyd did. Can't 100% tell because it's been in the water. The dude died of a brain aneurysm, but you can't really tell if the flesh was desiccated or if it had fungal growths because again it was in the water for weeks. So no drugs in their system.
Which one was what? Where were they positioned in the car? Sorry for my stuttering there.
The guy was driving, but I mean, they were both put in the car post-mortem.
Okay.
So the parking brake, the car was in neutral. Someone pushed it in or just rolled it in. Essentially, the door was ajar, so someone just got it in the water and let it. There were actually extra rocks in there to make the car heavier. Someone loaded it down with a couple extra heavy rocks. So, yeah.
So I'm going to assume at this point that.
They were also seat belted in. So, anyway, sorry. What?
I'm going to assume at this point with the crit failure that, with the poor talking and the hang up from what he told us, that there's probably going to be someone being warned, whoever we're after, with the statue, which means that time is going to quickly become of the essence.
That's not an unreasonable guess.
Yeah, but you crit fail, so you don't realize that.
Right. So
you
you
just
wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah. You kind of fuck that up a little bit. But
wait,
yeah,
didn't we get 3 people it could be?
There's two people who live in town. So
So yeah, so
Let's go check on them.
we should
okay.
definitely investigate those two people.
Two women. How you want to do that? Do you want to all go to A, or do you all want to go to B, or do you want to split up between A and
I
B?
thought we'd check the online records first, see if there's anything connecting to any of this.
Like you have to be more specific than that.
Are they members of the nonprofit? Are
Nope.
they on the board of the nonprofit? Are
Nope.
they on the board of the condo builder?
Nope.
Did they used to go to the wildlife sanctuary regularly? I don't know if there's a fee.
No, there was not a fee, and it was public.
That's a shame.
Do we know how old these people are?
One is a nurse, one is a florist.
I'm voting florist.
Yeah,
I vote florist.
I vote florist also.
Okay.
Nurse. I mean, nurse might be just as relevant. What if we split into two groups if we don't realize time is of the essence? So okay, let's talk to the florist.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we would probably split into two groups. I mean,
all right.
At least stake out the nurse.
Stake her out at her house. All right. Well, first off, let me just do this player by player. All right. Dan, Jarvis Dixon, nurse or florist?
florist.
Okay. And then
Let's
I'll
say
ask
it
you
with
about
flowers.
how you'll be doing that. Travis, physician DeMarco. Who are you going
Florist.
with?
Or florist.
Florist. Okay. Agent Browning. Who are you going to?
I'm gonna go nurse.
Nurse. Okay. Adam, Luce Bigby. Who are you going to focus on?
Nurse, please.
Nurse. And Daniel, Neil Leeson. Who are you going to look at?
I guess the florist.
Okay. All right. Team Nurse. You said something about staking it out. Her house out or her work out? The small hospital of the town, or clinic, really. Yeah, it's a clinic, not a full hospital. Yeah. How do you want to do it? What are you staking out?
Home, maybe? I don't know.
Home?
Home seems
Okay.
to be the best.
Yeah.
Both women are single. The nurse is divorced. The florist is never married. And they both live in houses that they own or have mortgages on. The nurse, they make a good bit of money, enough to afford hot air balloon rides. And the florist owns her own floral business, so flower shop. All right, so the nurse, the team nurse, you stake it out. I'll say this is looks like work hours. She doesn't appear to be home. So, team florist.
Let's go buy some flowers and see if the statues are there.
You go by the flower shop. It is closed.
Should it be open?
It
That
should
was the
be
question.
open according to the sign.
Oh dear. Check for her vehicle.
You don't see it.
Okay. Check her, I guess, house.
All right, you drive to her house. You can let's see here. You see her house. She has a large garden, a little greenhouse next to her house. She actually owns a bit of land. She's out sort of not quite at the city limits, but so the land is cheaper. But you do see a crudely painted little figure on the door to her garage, which is a sort of freestanding building next to her house. The symbol looks like a column with a snake on it.
Okay, but this is not the full-size figurine that was mentioned before, right? It's just a little one.
It's very similar in style, but like as though it was quickly drawn or crudely drawn.
Okay, so it's just a sketch, not the actual statue.
Yeah, no, it's drawn on the door.
Okay.
What's it drawn in? Is it red?
I don't know. You can't tell from here. You're seeing this from the street.
Sure.
Is her vehicle obviously present?
No, but
Go up
it
and get a
could
sample.
be in the garage.
Are there lights on in the house?
No, but it's daytime.
Fair enough. All right.
I think we might have to take rash action
Oh, let's contact everyone else and let them know about this before
Sure.
we go die.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think unless they found similar stuff at Nurse House, I think we've got the link here.
Okay.
The question is Link missing or is Link problematic?
All right. So what are you doing exactly?
Well, okay, so we've told everyone else that. I guess get out of the vehicle and go up to the door.
There's the
slowly.
house, there's the garage, there's the greenhouse.
And the garage is the one with the figure
symbol
painted
on it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it has obviously the big garage door, which is closed. It also
Mhm.
has like a normal size door, and that's what the symbol is drawn. It's on drawn. It's drawn on the person door, not the car door.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go up to the person door, go up to the symbols, look at it. Does it look like it's drawn in blood?
No, it looks like it's drawn in like black chalk or something, or some sort of colored. Yeah, it's like a dark chalk.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, are there any windows? Can we see a car in the garage, or is the garage?
There's a window, but it's been taped up. Like there's something like black tarp has been taped up on the inside of the window.
Oh, so it's been deliberately obscured.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe guys that are coming over here bring some propane tanks or explosives.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
What are you gonna do?
Are we going to do the same thing the last group did?
I mean,
Is
it's
that-
tempting.
What are you gonna do?
All right. So I guess we're having a little group chat here. So what I would bet we should do is I think that I don't know, if we think that there's some funny business and something unnatural about, and the garage is obscured and it has this symbol on it, I think that we should forcefully enter the garage in a way which isn't necessarily lawful, ready to with respirators.
Yeah.
On,
Someone said they were getting respirators, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
and potentially be ready to burn what we find inside if it looks fungal and virulent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perhaps, do we have any means to collect some sort of sample? Do we have any?
Yeah. The physician would, and certainly the FBI agents would have that.
Okay.
I'm also
Evan.
wondering, do you think it'd be a good idea to smudge the symbol, or is it maybe keeping something in? I'm not touching it right now. Okay, so
All right.
looking around, just take a walk around.
Mhm.
On the outside of the house, does there appear to be anyone inside? And also garden, greenhouse, anything there that's unusual? Without
alert. Yeah, you can give me alertness check.
Okay.
Do.
Ooh,
Oh,
it looks fine.
Yep.
Everything's good. 96 out of whatever it was.
It's not a crit failure.
No.
But it's definitely not a success. So yeah, it's a house. It's a freestanding garage separate from the house. I mean, it's it's a nice 2-story house, and it's a nice greenhouse. So it's late spring. It's kind of cloudy overhead and rainy. The grass is just now getting back to life and stuff. So looks like it's the glass is kind of hard to see inside. I mean, everything's the glass, the greenhouse is kind of fogged up. That's obviously much more humid in there.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of sprinkler system. And so you can't really make out a whole lot. And the house, the curtains are drawn, the windows are down, the door is closed. No signs of anything unusual. It's just a house.
Alrighty then. I guess let's watch and wait for the other folks to bring respirators and whatnot.
Okay. The other players quickly get there. It's not a big town. So you're all 5 of you are together. You have respirators. What else did you want to have?
I have a 20 in demolitions. Could I try and stop and rig something really fast?
Yeah, you sure can. What kind of thing do you want to rig up?
I recommend you take time. Sorry, instead of doing it really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to take time. I guess a propane flamethrower rig.
Yeah, you do. Here's the thing: you don't get to roll for that until you actually use it.
Just to point out,
Yeah,
they do make civilian flamethrowers for clearing brushland. I
Mhm.
don't know how you go about getting them, but I know they make them.
yeah. Those
Second
are
of
more
all-
like oversized blowtorches. They're not like
okay.
Well, we might be able to get one of those boarding flamethrowers.
those are basically those are this
Darn it.
kind of what I'm talking about. Like those are basically like blowtorches but bigger. They're
In that
not
case,
like
probably a bucket of kerosene and a match will do
they're
it.
not like I need to clear out a bunker of zombies.
Right.
They're definitely not that kind of flamethrower.
I'm going to go ahead and get a Tyvek suit from like a construction store, like a Lowe's or something,
Mhm.
to go with the respirator,
Sure.
and some gloves and something I can like zip tie so I can close up the feet and the hand sections with gloves.
Yeah.
This is a wacky idea. We could A, knock on the door just to see if she's there, or B, just call her.
I mean, that's a choice to be made because if she's a hostile and has been tipped off, that's not a good plan. If she's not a hostile and we call her, then we don't go to prison for arson. So there's a little bit of a give and take here.
Yep.
I'd also like to prep Molotov cocktails in advance.
Sure. That's not too hard. You can have 6 bottles of them that are ready to go, and your propane tank flamethrower.
I mean, one thing we could do is with everything like flamethrowery ready to go, we could knock on the door and just see if she's there. And if she is, we can talk to her. And if she's not, we can start burning. That's a nice compromise.
We should also have some fire extinguishers.
Okay, sure.
Because firemen got better things to do than die.
All right. Yeah. No, you have all that stuff.
All right.
You've talked about this a little bit ahead of time, so I'm basically giving you preparedness.
Yep.
In Delta Green. So yeah, you have this. It's middle of the afternoon. We'll say it's like 3:00. You're on the street, parked in front of her garage.
There are no children playing nearby.
Not
Just checking.
immediately. There's a playground like 2 blocks away. Yeah,
That's fine.
You can just
Funny.
Yep.
And the wind's not blowing that way, is it?
No.
That's fine.
Yeah. So what's the game plan? I feel like this is going to get specific really quickly. So yeah.
2 of us knock at the front door, see what happens, and nothing happens. Maybe we should search the house first. I'm a little concerned. Not that I know there's anything there, but maybe the symbol protective, and I don't know. I mean, it's loci. It's I don't know.
I think the two
Just by breaching it could be bad.
Yeah, I think the 2 that should knock on the door should probably have guns.
Oh, I do.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Should probably have guns, and I don't know. Respirators ready.
Yes.
Just in case.
Yes.
All right. So both the FBI agents going to the door.
Sure.
With respirators like around their necks, essentially, like ready to pull up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And guns at their ready, or like sort of in hand but in coat pocket or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The 2 of you and the rest of you, where are you going to be?
I guess respirators on. Who's operating our implement of fungus death?
Well, I just need to know. So you're going to be just like
I'll stay
on
in the
her
car.
front. Okay, you're staying in the car.
Should we not be right? Yeah, I mean, I was thinking maybe we could camp out near the garage just in case.
I'll say you have 2 cars between the 2 of you, but between the
Yep.
5 of you. So I'll say the other 3 players are in those cars.
Okay.
They're parked on the street. They can see the front door easily and the garage. So yeah.
All right. Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, you knock, and nothing happens.
Oh, what was her name, by the way, besides the
Oh,
florist?
Sarah Tober.
And we didn't come across any connections with any of the other people, right?
Nope.
Weird.
Well, that doesn't mean there isn't one. You just didn't
Right.
find it.
Yep.
All right.
What do you think? House or garage first?
I think we should try the garage. There's either something in both, which is moot, and if the garage is burnable, we can burn it. And
Yep.
if there's nothing in the garage, we go to the house.
All right. Thoughts on symbols and just smudging the thing just in case?
I am unadverse.
Anyone?
Smudge it. It sounds like best. And we should definitely check for anything that is unlocked or otherwise, because that is considered open invite, technically.
Let's do that. Yes.
Okay. So who's trying the garage? The FBI agents again?
Well, I mean, I guess I was going to say we're over by the house. They should.
Yeah. Okay,
Sure.
You want the other play? Yeah. So
I'd be fine trying the doors.
okay. Sorry, who was that again?
On at this point.
So the other three players are all doing that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So Team Garage, you were going to smudge the door and then try it.
Sure.
Okay. You smudged. By smudge door, I mean you smudge the symbol. It's drawn in chalk. That's not a problem. You smudge it. You cross out a line, or you smudge the little snake's head. All right. So let's see here. Which character is that?
I am Neil.
Neil. Okay. Let me look at something real quick, Neil.
Cool.
All right. Neil, go ahead and give me an alertness test.
Okay. Alert. Oh, cool. I have a whole 20 in that.
Yep, you sure do.
That's fantastic.
Holy shit! I make it.
Okay.
That is fantastic.
All right. Yeah. You open the door, and you step in, and there's a click, and you look down. There is a wire, pressing up against your shoe, or your ankle. And the garage is dark, and it smells like shit in there.
So like there's what appears to be a tripwire at my ankle, and
You haven't quite activated yet, but it's tense.
I, as carefully as possible, move back, tell everyone that the door is open, there's a tripwire, and that it smells like shit in there.
Okay. Give me a dex check. Dex times 5.
Okay.
To not flinch.
Yeah. Missed it by 2.
All right. All right. So there's 3 agents. There's 3 characters there. So I'll just roll lethality for each one separately. So this will be for Neil. It's going to be lethality 20. Because it's a fertilizer bomb. Oof.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yep. I'll say the
That's
other.
okay.
Actually,
We brought more explosives to the mix.
Yeah. I'll say the lethality actually goes down. It'll be 15% for the other 2 because let's see who is behind him. Let's see here. I think we have the doctor. And, let's see here. And then Lewis. All right. Sorry. All right. So this is so that who is that?
Me, the doctor.
Yeah, you take 4 points of damage. So
wow.
You're just knocked off your feet.
Tyvek really helps.
Holy shit.
Nice.
It's literally the same roll twice in a row. Another 4 points of damage to the doctor. So unfortunately, Neil's fucking disintegrated.
Yeah, because did I take 15 points of damage or did I just die?
Yeah, you just take 15 points of damage.
Okay. I am roll dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. They're a fertilizer bomb. FBI agents, you both take 1 point of damage each from, and your it wasn't a huge fertilizer bomb, but it was big enough to blow up whoever was at the door.
Okay.
and pepper everyone else with shrapnel. So car alarms are going off. People are coming out. It's a real bad scene. FBI agents.
Clear our consultants out that are still intact. Get the stuff we brought with
I'm
gone.
going to immediately
Um,
start on crowd control, directing people away.
Also that.
Okay.
Call fire rescue, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, multiple people have called. A
Don't need
bomb
to do
went
that.
off in like a suburban, in like a
Oh,
nice.
put
little
out an
Handler,
APB for
handler.
this person.
All right.
Handler.
Her name being, I wrote it down. Sarah Tober.
Yep, Sarah Tober. You do put that
It's
out.
Tober, not Tuber.
Tober, yeah.
Oh, okay.
TOBER.
I'm just thinking plants.
Yeah.
What's in the? Did the greenhouse break?
Yeah, some of it.
Okay. Is there anything outrightly, obviously disturbing in the greenhouse?
There's a big pedestal where a statue should be.
Okay, so now we know about how big the statue is.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's something a person could carry. You don't know how heavy it is. You don't know if it's full stone or hollow. Like some garden statues would be.
Yep.
So, but you'd have an idea. It's about yay big, about like 2.5 feet tall, probably. Something like that. So big enough that you could. I mean, small enough that you can carry in a hot air balloon, but big enough that people would definitely notice it.
Right. I guess check in with the local.
Oh yeah, everyone give me sanity too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Yep. 1d6 if you
Little
lose.
bit too.
1 if you make it. 1d6 if you fail.
1d6, you say?
Guess who doesn't have to roll sand?
Ever again.
Yup.
Okay.
Oh, that's a crit fail. So that's 6
I
sand.
accidentally rolled twice.
Oh,
That's my
okay.
bad. But I still did fail.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you failed regularly. So if you fail, roll 1d6.
Yep.
I'm A-okay, not really.
Yeah.
This is, normal.
I didn't even know anything about this. Yeah, you have yeah, so you take care of the scene. It sounds like everybody's staying to respond to what's going on at the explosion rather than running off to do something else.
Well,
Is that-
I mean,
yeah.
the only other thing I can think to do is get the cops to put out APB for this person.
Oh yeah.
Vehicle.
That's pretty easy to do because a bomb. She did. I mean, clearly she set up a bomb in her garage.
Hey, maybe they'll send us an ATF guy
Yeah.
I'm going to
real fast.
our
Yeah.
handler.
Yes,
as soon as the
check in with
scene
the
is under
handler.
Control.
Yeah. She's like, you need to find her and kill her. Like, you need to. She can't be a wit. She can't get in the system. No, don't let her talk.
We're down an operative, and only 2 of us, under my understanding, are mildly good with firearms.
Well,
Hey, that's 2 more than none.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the job. Learn, or she's obviously a danger to everyone in the community.
I hate to say this. Do we want to check the house to see if there's any clues as to where she might go?
Well, you can have the local police do that.
Yeah.
They can send
Fair
in a
enough.
bomb squad.
Yep.
They use the bomb squad. Her house does not have any more bombs. You do find out through an investigation. She bought apparently Jessica Woodley had an estate sale when her mother died.
There we go.
And they just had these cute garden statues that would
More than one?
Yeah, well, I mean, the other ones are normal. Like you see them. Yeah.
Okay.
There's just one that's missing, which is get a photo of it, which is a woman holding an urn, but the urn has the pattern of a snake on it. So kind of another guardian spirit type. But yeah. Also some books, some nature hiking log books that Professor Woodley had taken. and no one had bothered to read. So yeah, you get the APB out. There's no immediate response, but
We should check the balloon guy.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good call. He's not
In fact,
there.
Uh-huh. All right. Search his place for any idea where he might go. Is a balloon there?
No.
Oh gosh.
Okay, include this in the APB. We need someone to find that balloon for us ASAP.
Yeah.
Do
about
we?
2 minutes later, yeah, we see it. It's up there.
It's not like it's gonna, get away.
Yeah, but now we can't shoot it down.
Yes, we can.
Now it's obvious that we're shooting it down.
Yeah,
That's not wrong.
it's also like 2,000 feet up in the air.
Also true.
Huh.
Yeah.
What's the maximum ceiling on a commercial drone?
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
cultists. I mean,
Is there another balloonist in town?
Let's see.
or an ultralight field.
You have a balloon fight?
Does anyone have pilot?
No.
Yeah. So what do you? You can follow it with your cars and
Yep.
wait for it to come down. You actually get a radio there. Yeah, actually. Does anybody have SIGINT?
Yes.
All right, give me SIGINT.
Not
roll.
much of it though. Does anyone have a lot more singing than I do, which is not much?
No.
Anyone above 20?
That's a lot.
Okay then.
What are we looking for over 20?
I made it. Rolled a 9. Singing success.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Weird.
You managed to jam, basically get a radio to he has a you know from your that hot air balloons, anybody up in the air has to have some sort of radio to communicate with air traffic control.
Good point.
And so you can get on there and like, hey buddy, what's going on? If you want to talk to him.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I say.
All right.
Go with
Yeah.
winter.
Hello. Yes. Hi. We're just having a nice balloon flight.
Who's with you there, sir?
Sarah.
Ah.
She's kind of in a trance. I don't know if she can hear me. She's
Why would you take a woman in a trance up on a balloon, sir?
Oh, she wasn't in a trance before, and she
Uh-huh.
had a gun.
Ah, that's important to know.
Yeah. She's kind of up here. I
If
guess
she's
I
in a
could.
trance, could you just toss that statue over
She's
the side?
holding it. I don't want to try and reach and get it.
Okay, that's fair.
I think. Well, I assume you're some sort of cop, right?
Oh yes.
Okay. Well, my opinion of cops has changed.
Okay, do you have an idea where you might be
Well, I can
coming
set
down?
down as long as I don't hit those power lines. I should be fine. So
Okay.
I'm gonna come down. I hope you're nearby.
Are we nearby?
Yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
assume you've been following them in your car.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. So you.
So and it's an FBI car, so it's got an FBI carbine in the trunk.
FBI what in the trunk?
Carbine rifle.
Oh yeah, sure.
Carbine. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, it's reasonable to say he'd have a long gun.
Mhm.
So yeah, it sets down in a field. So you can either hop out. It's in a basically some farmer's field. This is ranch land, so there's a lot of the cows are scattering, running away from it because like what the fuck. But you can
That's
either
good.
run the cart. You can either have someone open the fence and drive your car in, or you can hop the fence and run in.
I've got a drive of 50, and cars make good battering rams.
So I also had something to run past the other guys. Do we want to just, shoot her now while she's in the trance?
this is early after. This is late afternoon. I mean, there will be at least one witness unless you shoot him too.
That was the second question.
Yeah.
Is he now a vector?
Well, you're all thinking of that as you was one of you runs out and opens the gate, shooting the lock off because fuck that. Waiting to call a farmer to open it up for you. And you drive in. Give me a drive check.
Okay. I do not make.
So the car gets off the road, and that was it.
Yeah, basically, it's.
I guess we're running over there now. Don't leave the gate open. We don't want the poor farmer to lose his cows because that will make him investigate who did this. We don't want that.
Yeah. All right. So you close the. Everyone, give me athletic checks.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
No. 99.
All right, you slip in a cow patty and lose your weapon if you had whatever you were holding in your hands.
All right.
I don't make.
So who made?
I did.
That's it.
I don't know.
Awesome.
I guess.
All right.
So I get with the
yeah.
range is 100 meters on the car beat according to the notes here.
Yeah. I mean, you get there. And she's they're both in the climbing out of the basket, even though the balloon itself isn't really secured. The guy is obviously in a panic. And she's sort of, you can shaking her head, kind of coming out of it. So you're in rifle shot range if you just want to take a shot.
Do we have enough information to know that's? I mean, do we know?
Handler said kill.
Yeah, that's true. That's what the handler did say, didn't he?
But yeah.
Gee, yeah. Okay, well, job's a job.
All right.
What?
39.
All right, that hit.
Yep.
All right.
It does D12 and armor piercing 3, if that matters.
All right.
I'll try to take the statue with the same shot.
Are you aiming at the statue or are you aiming at her?
You know what? I'll aim at the statue first.
Okay.
D12. Nope, I missed the D. There we go. 12. Holy
Shit.
crap! Actually, did RD12 roll or? I guess so.
Oh yeah, you just
No, that worked.
let me.
I think.
I think that's the max size. Let me.
No, that's. I mean, I think that's what I did.
Let me do D12. No, you did right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So you
12.
did 12. Yeah, 12 damage. So yeah, you fucking the statue explodes. And there's this spray of some sort of matter. Not
I'm pretty
rock.
happy to be at 100 meters now.
Yeah, it's the bullet goes into her, and she collapses. The old man screams and starts crawling away. He falls down out of fear and just starts crawling away.
Mm-hmm. Respirator on.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will slowly approach.
Okay. As you approach, you can see there was something in the statue, but whatever it is, it's rapidly disintegrating.
Disintegrating is good.
Yeah, but she is not dead. She's bleeding out, and she's kind of is watching you and just kind of smiles as she sees you.
Well, there's a big fire there in the balloon, right?
I mean, it's currently not on. Like the balloon is turned off.
Is there stuff still in the statue remaining? In the core that's remaining?
Yeah.
Burn it.
Okay. Yeah.
We still got to cover this up too.
Yeah.
How do you plan to cover it up?
Balloon crash.
How are you planning to cover it up?
I have not gotten that far yet.
Okay.
You said she's smiling. That's not great.
I'd say toss her corpse into the balloon and then we're gonna have to shoot and kill old dude, and then we're gonna have to burn it all. Make it look like something malfunctioned, the balloon caught, and it all burnt to a crisp.
All right, you can hear sirens in the distance.
That's not gonna. We're not gonna have time for that.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's the county, but like, this is daylight, and like, yeah.
There's the other option is just put a bullet in her and leave.
I'm still burning it. We've got cocktails.
Oh, good point.
You're throwing Molotov cocktails.
All right. Does she have anything to say for herself?
Do you? I mean, do you ask her something, or do you try and talk?
Why are you smiling?
I am now the Genius Loci. I will live forever as the spirit. All right.
I mean,
all right.
Nope.
All right, you blow her brains out. She's quite dead. All right, we
get out of the way for the Molotovs to do the work.
I'm gonna grab the old guy and haul him back to the car.
Okay. So okay.
And I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take one of the cars and go.
Okay.
As we're back.
Yep. So Molotov guy, you're burning her and the balloon.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's.
I'm gonna get in the car and be ready to leave as soon as these get ready. This is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which player is doing that? Sorry.
I'll go get the car unstuck then while you handle that.
Sorry. Which character is Molotoving?
Mark Browning.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. You burn the. It's a wicker basket. It burns.
Ooh, it's a wicker man. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. In a field.
So you don't kill the old man.
Well, someone ran off with him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna convince him that he did not. She took the balloon by herself.
We can always
Okay.
introduce him as a friendly.
Yeah.
You could also give him some peyote or LSD.
You don't have any. You definitely don't have any. You didn't get any. You
Fair
wouldn't.
enough.
Yeah, you wouldn't carry any on your normal kid.
No.
Yeah. So you
Or scotch.
I mean scotch. Yeah. That would be a hip flask would be more believable. But the old man does mutter that like something was coming out of the statue. It was just I could see some sort of mist coming out of it.
Oh. I slow down.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I don't have my gun on me. So I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him back. I'm just gonna drive for a little bit.
Okay. No, take a right here to get back to my place.
Whoops.
Where are you taking me?
Oh, I missed the turn.
I hate cops again. All right, his strength is 40%. Make an opposed strength check.
All right.
He's trying to grab the wheel. He fails his.
Here's a question. Did we see him inhale any of the stuff that came out?
Yeah, you failed worse. He takes control of the car. It goes spinning. Give me a drive check at half.
Christ.
So 10. Nope.
All right, the car flips over as you're both fighting for controls. As he's panicked and you're panicked, and yeah, we'll get back to you. But it's a car crash. You're not doing anything for a bit. Yeah. So sorry. Back at the balloon crash site. What are you doing?
Can we get some CDC support for the hazmat situation we have here with the unknown biological agent?
What? No, you haven't made any kind of case for that.
I'm just saying it might be time to start that case.
Well, who's the CDC supervisor?
Yeah, that would be the guy in the car crash.
I call him.
Yeah,
keeps going to voicemail.
Also, you haven't established any sort of biohazard threat. You haven't. You can't. If you did this, yeah.
It was a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, you can leave right before the cops show up if you stop doing shit right now and just go, but in the other car. But if you want to do anything else at the crash site, the local cops are going to show up.
Yeah, I think we need to get God then.
Okay. Yeah, it starts a wildfire because you fucking like set Wicker.
Hey, we
on
have the fire extinguishers.
You didn't stop to set them. You didn't stop.
Well,
to
we'll leave
them
them there. Someone can use them.
I mean, like the grass.
No,
is
actually,
on
that's
fire.
dumb. That's dumb. We wouldn't do that.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't.
No.
I mean, it's not a huge wildfire. They do put it out, but like it also like the balloon itself catches on fire and shit.
Well, that was part of the plan, I think.
Yeah. Well, weird. How that would spread. And so, but yeah, let's see how much damage a car crash does. We'll say it does a D12. And we'll do it for the old man. 5. He is still alive. He had 8 hit points. Also 5. How many hit points do you have?
I have 3.
After
remaining
that?
or
remaining?
Remaining? Well, okay, so you have 3 remaining. All right, so you're still conscious. Barely. If you take another point of damage, you'll be unconscious. So both you and the old man is recovers and he starts crawling out of the car. And you can it's a country road, but there's still traffic. Also, a lot of people are using the country road now to try and get to the crash site because there's a big fucking balloon crash and like, boy, that looks interesting, and like, oh, we need to help. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So you're still conscious though. What are you gonna do?
Answer your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure this guy didn't survive the car crash.
Okay, your phone is ringing, but finding it and answering is different than getting out and trying to kill the old man.
I'm gonna try and kill the old man with unarmed combat.
All right, yeah, I'll give you the first attack. -10.
Oh, well, I don't make it with -10.
Yeah, because you were just in a car crash.
All right,
you're in pain and it hurts. So he is like, what? He's gonna run away with his base athletics of 20. And he crit fails, so he falls down. And he's out of breath. So yeah, you can just strangle him now if you want. Give me that sand check.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll break his neck.
Yeah.
I pass.
All right. Yeah, you kill him as he lies helpless, and you just lose a point of sanity.
All right.
And
apparently, I'm fine for shooting the woman.
Yeah,
or whatever it was. This is fine.
Do I need to make a sand check for burning the remains?
Yeah. All right. So that wraps up the case. Agent Browning's career is ruined because he set a $100,000 balloon on fire.
Well, but there's no owner.
Oh, there's it's owned by a company. Like there's like, just because the old man is dead doesn't mean like he was not the only. Actually, he co-owned it with several other people. Like he was basically part of a balloonist club. And
he brought that on himself.
Did he though?
Yeah, he did, because he didn't put us through to her.
Yeah, well,
we don't know that he was, being creepy on the phone.
Yeah.
And he's dead now, right? So
yeah, he is quite dead.
Oh, there we are.
Yep. The other involvement, nobody else. Yeah, it's not great for your careers, but they kind of ignore.
To be fair, she did have a fuel oil bomb in her garage.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad either. Like, yeah, she was clearly some kind of eco-terrorist, is what everyone decides she was. Which isn't too far from the truth. The other deaths, of course, are ignored. And the survivors are, given some time off before your next mission. But it's considered a success by Delta Green because they established a causal link between Vermont and Colorado. So the system works. Yeah.
So in reality, does it keep spreading? Do we just release it into the environment?
Well, okay. So the idea was that this was a Migu tool that they would use to survey a land for mining purposes and surveillance purposes. So the Migu would hover in place and release spores, and then that would form a network that the Migu would then be sort of partially omniscient in that area. And when at one point they gave which is the tool is actually an organism. Basically, the professor found it had been abandoned by the Migu, and he put it in the statue himself. And then, of course, it linked to him, and it drove him mad because he became omniscient of the area he was in. And he spread it further by the hot air balloon rides, by spreading the spores over a large area. But every time somebody changed the environment in a drastic way, like tearing down a house, the spores would update his mind, and that he perceived that as pain because it wasn't designed for human minds. So he perceived it as like, the land is being destroyed, you must avenge it. And so if someone stays in the area long enough, he can just command the spores to go in their brain and kill them. But the other thing is, even when they aren't doing that, he knows where everyone is. He basically is omniscient of what other people are doing. So it's like playing a stealth game where you can see all the guards and see their line of sight.
Yep.
So
did it bond with Sarah?
Yeah. She basically went dormant after the professor died because he was blown up. And then because it takes time for it to bond with somebody, like somebody who gardens near the statue. And basically remained dormant until Sarah bought it and started putting it in her garden, started working on it, and then it bonded with her. And of course the symbol was just carried over because it, like, as the tool, the organism imprints on you, you imprint on it. And so that's why it was the symbol appearing on the house was just an unconscious manifestation of it. Because it's just, it's again like a Migu neural tool interfacing with the human mind. Shit is breaking down, so she was getting more erratic. But she believed that if she spread all the spores, commanded it to just fully disperse, that her consciousnness would become basically a true genius loci, and so she would just become the spores, or her mind would be subsist in them. And so who knows if that actually worked or not.
Well, that's a whole lot less spores than she was probably counting on too.
I mean, maybe. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
So just being next to just breathing in the air from the urn maybe didn't infect the old man.
Actually, you were all subject to it as soon as you you entered Fraser, Colorado. Like, they're perpetuating throughout the entire town. So like if she became aware that you were investigating, she was only partially omniscient. She knows what people are actually like, oh, that person is reading a book, or like, but she wouldn't know what the book is about. So the instant she was getting more paranoid in general. That's why she was building the bomb. If she knew who you were and you stayed in that town for a week, she could have just caused you to have an aneurysm. So it wouldn't have mattered if you had a respirator on or not. It would have gone through your skin. So like, unless you're fully environmentally sealed, if you were anywhere within a mile of the town, like, you were at risk. But it takes weeks for her to build up enough spores, and she can only do it one person at a time. That's why she didn't kill everybody with aneurysms.
So basically, if we last the next month, she probably did reform, and because we're obviously contaminated with the stuff.
I mean, yeah, I haven't figured out what the long-term effects are. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe it's only as long as you never go to Fraser, Colorado, you might be fine. Maybe it's going to intensify. You become her. I don't know. It's whatever. You want.
I mean, I'm sure the cops don't want us to come back to Fraser, Colorado, though.
Oh yeah, no, nobody. Like, it's just a bad time for everybody. But it stops, and you burned a evil mutant monstery thing. So yeah.
Well, I guess we could get Sand back for that.
Yeah, sure. Everyone gets D4 sanity back.
In the one shot.
I did a single point of sand, so that's always good.
Except for the dead man. He's
dead.
Yeah. Sorry about that, but I was like, yeah, we gotta have at least one death trap of that.
No, that was very. I've never been completely just annihilated in a. That was fun. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I tried to make it fair. But she was playing for keeps, and she was like it was going crazy. So every time the condo was building, like she was like, I had to kill. So it's just you gain your brain is processing more information than it's meant for, and so you're just trying to
Did we find the notebooks?
Yeah, you'll find the notebooks, and that like Professor Woodley knew about the whole Whisper in the Darkness shit, and that's why he found the thing in the first place, because he's like, this sounds cool, I want to find this shit, and then he eventually finds an abandoned Migu tool and figures out how to use it, kind of. Yeah. Until he got lured into a shed and blown up. So yeah. Kind of a whole thing.
Sort of just desserts, really. That we got blown up, we blew. Yeah, no, it's sort of like an eye for an eye, huh?
I feel like this is probably the most successful Delta Green mission I've ever been on.
Yeah,
usually I'm messing it up, but all right.
Yeah, only one dead agent, only one dead civilian.
And I mean,
two.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess she was a cultist, so it doesn't count now. So
yeah, she was the bad guy. She was the antagonist.
And one dead balloon.
Yeah, one dead balloon.
Very expensive balloon that was worth more than any of our lives.
Yeah, this was totally. I actually did go on a hot air balloon ride when I was in Australia.
Oh, that's right.
And so I was like, I want to do. How could I put this in Delta Green? So like, oh wait, I'm 500 feet above the air, and I'm very still, and like I could see the whole landscape around me.
I was sorely tempted to go for a balloon dogfight, but you know how.
Yeah, that's true.
For that, you need a Zeppelin.
Yeah. I mean, if you had rifles, it would be a pretty quick one. Just get within range and boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
So yeah, you could do that. There when you have like when I did the balloon trip, he's like, yeah, we got to make sure we don't fly too far under them or above them, because you don't want to bump another balloon, vertically. So that is a concern, because you're just subject to the wind. So to the wind. So if you all float the same way, then that could happen if you're at the same elevation. But yeah, that was my gimmick idea for it. I'm glad.
Well, it was sportastic.
Yep.
And if you look at the group chat, there's a link to the song "Balloon Man," which obviously you can theme this with, but you don't do that. So
yeah. Well, I'll look at it. It's
Robin Hitchcock. It has nothing to do with hot air balloons.
Okay, fair enough. I do have it loaded though, so I'll take a look at it later after we're done recording. Sorry, yeah. Any other questions about the scenario?
No, I thought it was great.
Cool.
That was really solid.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad it worked out. I just had it sort of sketched out, a couple pages of notes. So I'll probably run this now that I have this. I'll probably revise it a little and run it for RPPR. So because why not? Let's see if they can
predict more explosions.
Yeah,
I'll probably make Sarah a little more Mad Bomber-esque. Give her more fertilizer bombs, because if you know where everybody is and you have perfect stealth, why not just plant a bunch of fucking bombs if you don't give a shit? Because
where did she learn the demolitions to build the bomb is the other question.
I mean, she would have the blue collar skills to do it, I guess.
Or ex special forces opens a flower shop in retirement.
Could have been that. Yeah, I mean, maybe
the possibilities are mindless.
A lot of people who work out in the outdoors know how to use explosives to blow up tree stumps.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, anyways, maybe she was an eco-terrorist back in the day. Who knows?
Well, now she's a Migo terrorist. So.
Hey, all right. Thanks for all playing. Thanks for supporting the RPPR Patreon, and I'll talk to you all later.
Have a good night.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.